Amara Washington stood frozen at the entrance of Bella Rosa restaurant, watching her breath form small clouds in the December air while her 5-year-old twins shivered beside her. The hostess had just delivered the worst news possible. Their reservation, the one Amara had saved for and promised her children for 6 weeks, had been cancelled due to a computer glitch. "I'm so sorry, ma'am," the hostess repeated, her face genuinely apologetic. "We're completely booked now. There's nothing I can do." Amara felt her throat tighten as she looked down at Isaiah and Zoe. They wore their best clothes, thin coats that barely kept out the cold because she hadn't been able to afford new winter gear yet. Isaiah's blue sweater, slightly too small, rode up on his wrists. Zoe's red dress, a hand-me-down from a church donation, had a small stain she tried to hide with a ribbon. They'd talked about this dinner every single day. They'd drawn pictures of it. They'd practiced their table manners. "Mommy?" Zoe's small voice cut through the noise of the busy restaurant. "Aren't we going to eat?" Amara opened her wallet, counting the bills inside. $47. That was all she had until Friday's paycheck from her night shift at the grocery store. Her day job at the call center had cut everyone's hours for the holidays, leaving her stretched impossibly thin. She'd planned this dinner down to the penny, budgeting for 2 children's meals and splitting an entree for herself. "We'll find somewhere else, baby," Amara said, forcing brightness into her voice. But she knew the truth. Every restaurant worth going to would be packed on Christmas Eve. Fast food wouldn't feel special enough, not after all the promises she'd made. Isaiah tugged on her hand. "Are you crying, Mommy?" She wasn't, but she was close. She blinked hard, straightening her shoulders in her green cardigan that she'd worn to every important occasion for the past 3 years. The fabric was pilling at the elbows, but it was clean and pressed. Inside the restaurant, through the large glass windows, Amara could see families laughing together. White tablecloths, twinkling lights. Everything she'd wanted to give her children just once. Just one special memory to hold on to during all the hard days. "Let's go," she whispered, turning away before the hostess could see the defeat in her eyes. That's when she heard it. A small voice, clear and concerned. "Daddy, why is that lady crying?" Amara looked up to see a man crouching beside a little girl about 7 years old. He wore a navy suit that probably cost more than Amara made in 3 months, and his daughter wore a beautiful white dress with a maroon velvet sash. They were clearly heading into the restaurant, but the girl had stopped, staring at Amara's twins with wide, sympathetic eyes. "Sophie, honey, we should." The man started, but then he looked at Amara. Really looked at her. His gaze moved from her face to the twins, to their thin coats and hopeful, disappointed expressions. Nathan Pierce had seen poverty before. He'd donated millions to charities, written checks, attended fundraisers. But standing 3 feet away from a mother trying desperately not to fall apart in front of her children hit differently. This wasn't a statistic or a tax deduction. This was real. "Excuse me," Nathan said gently, standing up. "I couldn't help but overhear. Did they cancel your reservation?" Amara wanted to walk away. Pride told her to take her children and leave before this wealthy stranger could pity them any further. But Zoe's small hand clutched hers tighter, and Isaiah's stomach growled audibly in the silence. "Yes," Amara admitted quietly. "Computer error," they said. Sophie tugged on her father's sleeve. "Daddy, we have a big table. Remember? You said it was too big for just us 2. Nathan's mind raced. He'd reserved the best table in the house, a 6-person booth by the window. His assistant had made the reservation months ago, back when Nathan thought he might invite business associates. But Christmas Eve had arrived, and Nathan realized he didn't want to spend it talking about quarterly projections. He wanted his daughter to have a real Christmas, something meaningful beyond expensive presents. "We'd be honored if you and your children would join us for dinner," Nathan said. "Please. No one should be alone on Christmas Eve." Amara's first instinct was to refuse. She'd built her life on not needing anyone, on handling everything herself. After her ex-husband had abandoned them when the twins were babies, she'd sworn never to depend on anyone again. But then she saw the way Sophie smiled at her twins. The way Isaiah's eyes lit up with hope. The way Zoe whispered, "Please, Mommy?" Have you ever had to choose between your pride and your children's happiness? If this story touches your heart, please subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your support helps us bring more stories of hope and kindness to people who need them most. "That's very kind," Amara said softly. "But I couldn't impose on your family dinner." "You're not imposing," Nathan insisted. "My daughter would love the company. Wouldn't you, Sophie?" "Yes," Sophie said immediately. "What are your names?" "I'm Isaiah," her son announced. And this is my sister Zoe. We're twins, but we don't look the same because we're, what's the word, Mommy? Fraternal, Amara supplied. Right? Isaiah continued. I like dinosaurs and race cars. What do you like? Sophie giggled. I like horses and reading. Do you like to read? Sometimes, Zoe answered shyly. Mommy reads to us every night. Nathan extended his hand to Amara. I'm Nathan Pierce and this is Sophie. Please join us. It would mean a lot to both of us. Amara looked at his hand, then at his face. His eyes were kind, not pitying. There was genuine warmth there, something she hadn't expected from someone wearing a suit that expensive. She thought about refusing again, about dragging her children to a fast food place where they'd eat under fluorescent lights instead of twinkling Christmas decorations. Then she thought about kindness. About teaching her children that accepting help wasn't weakness, that human connection mattered more than pride. Thank you, Amara said, shaking his hand. We'd love to join you. I'm Amara Washington. The hostess's eyes widened as Nathan approached. Mr. Pierce, right this way. Your table is ready. As they walked through the restaurant, Amara noticed every eye that turned toward them. She knew what they saw, a wealthy white man with his daughter, dining with a struggling black woman and her children. She braced herself for judgment, for whispers. But Sophie grabbed Zoe's hand, chattering excitedly about the dessert menu. Isaiah walked beside Nathan, asking 100 questions about the fish tank near the entrance. And Nathan responded to each question with patience and genuine interest. The booth was indeed large, upholstered in deep red velvet. A small Christmas tree sat in the center of the table, decorated with tiny silver ornaments. Amara had never seen anything so beautiful in a restaurant. Mommy, look, Zoe breathed. It's like a fairy tale. It is, baby, Amara agreed, feeling tears threaten again. But this time they weren't tears of despair. Nathan ordered appetizers for the table without looking at prices. When the waiter brought bread and butter, Isaiah's eyes grew round with wonder at the warm, fresh rolls. Amara watched her children eat slowly, savoring every bite, and felt her heart might burst. So, Amara, Nathan said conversationally as Sophie showed the twins how to use the fancy napkins. What do you do? I work at a call center during the day, Amara replied. And I stock shelves at Morrison's grocery 3 nights a week. 2 jobs, Nathan observed. That must be exhausting. It's what needs to be done, Amara said simply. She didn't mention the night classes she'd been taking online, trying to finish the nursing degree she'd started before the twins were born. She didn't mention sleeping 4 hours a night or living in a 1-bedroom apartment where she gave her children the bedroom and slept on the couch. And their father? Nathan asked gently, then immediately looked apologetic. I'm sorry. That's too personal. It's all right, Amara said. He left when they were 6 months old. Decided fatherhood wasn't for him. We haven't heard from him since. Sophie looked up from her conversation with the twins. My mommy died 2 years ago. It's just me and Daddy now. An understanding passed between Nathan and Amara. They were both doing this alone, both trying to be enough for their children. The waiter returned with menus. Amara started to reach for the children's menu, already calculating costs, but Nathan gently pushed it aside. Order anything you'd like, he said. Really? Tonight's my treat and I won't hear any arguments. Amara wanted to argue. Every instinct screamed that she should offer to pay her share, that she shouldn't accept charity. But she looked at her children's faces, bright with excitement and hope, and made a decision. Thank you, she said with genuine gratitude. That's incredibly generous. Nathan smiled. It's Christmas Eve. Generosity is kind of the point, right? As they ordered, Amara chose carefully but allowed herself the luxury of not picking the cheapest option. She ordered Isaiah his favorite chicken tenders and Zoe the pasta she'd been dreaming about. For herself, she chose a salad with chicken, something filling but not excessive. Nathan ordered steaks for himself and Sophie, and when the food arrived, the portions were enormous. Without saying a word, Nathan cut his steak in half and transferred some to the twins' plates when they eyed it curiously. Try it, he encouraged. I have a feeling you'll like it. Isaiah took a careful bite, his eyes widening. Mommy, this is amazing. Nathan and Sophie taught the twins how to cut properly, how to try different combinations of food on their plates. It wasn't condescending or patronizing. It was simply kind, one family sharing a meal with another. Amara, Nathan said during dessert, watching Sophie and the twins share a massive chocolate cake. Can I ask you something? Of course. What do you need? He asked directly. Not what you want, what you actually need. Because I'd like to help if you'll let me. Amara's throat tightened. She thought about her apartment's broken heater, about the twins' thin coats, about the stack of medical bills from Isaiah's emergency room visit last month when he'd had the flu. She started, then stopped. How did you tell a stranger all the ways your life was falling apart? How did you admit that you were drowning despite working yourself to exhaustion every single day? I need winter coats for the twins, she finally said, choosing the most immediate need. Real ones. It's supposed to snow next week and what they have isn't enough. Nathan nodded. Done. What else? That's too much already, Amara protested. Humor me, Nathan said gently. What else do you need? Amara looked at her children, laughing with Sophie like they'd been friends forever. She thought about all the opportunities she couldn't give them, all the ways she was failing despite trying so hard. Time, she whispered. I need more time with them. I work so much that I barely see them awake. They deserve a mother who can be there for bedtime stories and homework help and just being present. Nathan was quiet for a moment, his expression thoughtful. Then he pulled out his wallet and handed Amara a business card. I run a tech company downtown, he said. Pierce Industries. We're always looking for good people and I have a feeling you're exactly the kind of person we need. The pay is competitive, the hours are regular, and there are benefits. Real benefits including health insurance. Amara stared at the card, her hands trembling slightly. I don't have a college degree. Do you show up on time? Work hard? Treat people with respect? Yes. Then you're qualified, Nathan said firmly. Call the number tomorrow. Ask for Rachel Thompson in HR. Tell her I sent you. Amara struggled to form words around the emotion blocking her throat. Why are you doing this? Nathan looked at Sophie, who was teaching Zoe how to make a napkin swan. Because 2 years ago my wife died suddenly. And in the months after, strangers showed me kindness I didn't know how to accept. Someone paid for our groceries when I was too depressed to remember my wallet. Someone else watched Sophie for free when I had to handle funeral arrangements. People I'd never met just helped. He turned back to Amara. I learned that accepting help isn't weakness. It's grace. It's allowing other people the privilege of caring. So please let me help. Not because you need saving, but because kindness should always lead the way forward. Amara felt tears rolling down her cheeks now, not caring who saw. Okay, she whispered. Okay, yes. Thank you. The rest of the dinner passed in a blur of laughter and conversation. The children played tic-tac-toe on their napkins. Nathan told terrible dad jokes that made everyone groan. Sophie shared stories about her school, and the twins listened with rapt attention. When the check came, Nathan paid without fanfare. He also arranged with the hostess to have leftover food packed up, far more than what remained on their plates. Full meals, carefully boxed, that Amara knew would feed her children for days. Outside the restaurant, the snow had started falling. Soft, gentle flakes that caught in Zoe's hair and made Isaiah laugh with delight. Mommy, it's snowing, Isaiah shouted, spinning in circles. Nathan crouched down to the twins' level. Hey, before you go, I need to tell you something important. Your mom is one of the strongest, bravest people I've ever met. You're very lucky to have her. We know, Zoe said seriously. She's the best mommy ever. Can we see you again? Isaiah asked hopefully. You and Sophie? Nathan looked at Amara, asking permission with his eyes. She nodded, smiling through her tears. Absolutely, Nathan said. How about we exchange numbers? Maybe after Christmas we can get together. Sophie would love a playdate with you too. As they said goodbye, Sophie hugged both twins tightly. I'm so glad we met you, she said. This was the best Christmas Eve ever. Walking to the bus stop, Amara's children chattered excitedly about dinner, about Sophie, about everything they'd experienced. Amara clutched the business card in her pocket and the boxes of food in her arms, feeling like maybe, just maybe, things were about to change. She looked up at the falling snow and whispered to the winter sky, "Thank you." For the first time in years, Christmas Eve didn't feel like just another day to survive. It felt like the beginning of something beautiful. The morning after Christmas, Amara sat at her kitchen table staring at Nathan Pierce's business card. Sunlight streamed through her apartment's small window, illuminating the card's embossed letters. Nathan Pierce, CEO, Pierce Industries. Below that, a phone number and an address in the business district downtown. Isaiah and Zoe were still asleep in the bedroom they shared, exhausted from the excitement of Christmas Eve and the modest Christmas morning celebration Amara had managed with the few presents she'd saved for. The leftover food from Bella Rosa sat in her refrigerator, a tangible reminder that last night had actually happened. She'd replayed the dinner 100 times already. Nathan's kindness. Sophie's sweetness. The way her children had laughed and eaten their fill without Amara having to count every penny. It felt like a dream, something too good to be real. The business card sat heavy in her hand. Was she really going to call? What if it had been empty politeness, the kind of gesture people made in the moment but didn't actually mean? What if she called and embarrassed herself? But then she remembered Nathan's words, accepting help isn't weakness. It's grace. Before she could talk herself out of it, Amara picked up her phone and dialed. Pierce Industries, Rachel Thompson speaking. Hi, Amara said, her voice steadier than she felt. My name is Amara Washington. Nathan Pierce told me to call you. There was a brief pause, then Rachel's voice warmed considerably. Oh yes, Mr. Pierce called me yesterday evening. He spoke very highly of you. Can you come in for an interview today? Today. Amara's heart raced. It's the day after Christmas. Mr. Pierce thought you might appreciate starting the new year with new opportunities, Rachel said kindly. But if today doesn't work, we can schedule for next week. Amara thought about her grocery store shift tonight, about the call center reopening tomorrow, about her children who deserved a mother with regular hours and health insurance. Today works, Amara said quickly. What time? How about 2 o'clock? That gives you time to arrange childcare if needed. After hanging up, Amara called her neighbor Mrs. Patterson, who'd watched the twins before. Within an hour, everything was arranged. By noon, Amara stood in front of her closet, trying to assemble something appropriate for an interview at a tech company. She chose her best pair of black slacks and a blue blouse, pressing them carefully. Her shoes were old but clean. Her coat was thin but it would have to do. She twisted her hair into a professional bun and applied minimal makeup, studying herself in the bathroom mirror. You can do this, she whispered to her reflection. The Pierce Industries building was downtown, all glass and steel reaching 20 stories high. Amara stood on the sidewalk for a full minute, gathering courage. Inside, the lobby gleamed with polished marble and modern art. A security guard directed her to the elevators, and soon she was rising to the 15th floor, her stomach fluttering with nervous energy. Rachel Thompson met her in the reception area, a warm woman in her 50s wearing a purple blazer and a genuine smile. Amara, welcome. Please come to my office. The interview wasn't what Amara expected. Instead of harsh questions about gaps in her resume or her lack of formal education, Rachel asked about her work ethic, her problem-solving skills, her ability to manage multiple responsibilities. Working 2 jobs while raising twins alone tells me everything I need to know about your dedication and time management, Rachel said. Mr. Pierce believes you'd be perfect for our administrative coordinator position. It's full-time Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Health insurance kicks in after 90 days including dental and vision. Starting salary is $45,000 a year. Amara's eyes widened. She currently made less than $28,000 combining both her jobs. She struggled to speak. That's more than generous. It's fair compensation for the role, Rachel corrected gently. You'll be supporting our operations team, coordinating schedules, managing communications and handling various administrative tasks. It's demanding work, but based on what I'm seeing, you're more than capable. They talked for another 30 minutes about specifics, about the company culture, about growth opportunities. Rachel explained that Pierce Industries valued employees who showed initiative and dedication, that many people had risen from entry-level positions to management. When can you start? Rachel asked. I need to give 2 weeks' notice at my current jobs, Amara said automatically, then hesitated. Actually, is it possible to start January 2nd? That's less than a week, but both my supervisors have been understanding about my situation. January 2nd is perfect, Rachel said, extending her hand. Welcome to Pierce Industries, Amara. Walking out of the building, Amara felt light, like she might float away. She had a real job. A career, not just surviving. Her children would have health insurance. She'd work normal hours. She'd be home for dinner and bedtime stories. Her phone rang as she waited for the bus. An unfamiliar number. Hello? Amara? It's Nathan Pierce. Rachel just called. Congratulations on the job. Thank you, Amara said, emotion making her voice thick. Thank you so much. I don't know how to repay you for this. There's nothing to repay, Nathan said. You earned this position. Rachel was impressed with you, and that woman doesn't impress easily. Now, I have another question. Are you free this afternoon? Yes. Why? Sophie has been asking about the twins nonstop since yesterday. I was wondering if you'd all like to come over for hot chocolate and cookies. Nothing fancy, just the kids playing and us adults having actual adult conversation. Amara smiled, feeling tears prick her eyes again. She seemed to cry a lot lately, but these were good tears. Grateful tears. We'd love that. Nathan gave her his address, a neighborhood Amara had only driven through, never imagining she'd visit. She picked up the twins from Mrs. Patterson, changed them into clean clothes, and took 2 buses to Nathan's house. House didn't do it justice. It was a mansion, all stone and large windows, with a circular driveway and gardens that even in winter looked carefully maintained. Amara stood at the front door, suddenly feeling very small and out of place. But then the door opened and Sophie was there, beaming. "You came?" Sophie squealed, reaching for the twins' hands. "I've been waiting. Come see my room. I have so many toys we can play with." Nathan appeared behind his daughter, wearing jeans and a red sweater, looking more relaxed than he had at the restaurant. "Come in, please. Don't let the house intimidate you. Most of it's empty anyway." Inside, the home was beautiful but lived in. Family photos lined the hallways. Children's drawings hung on the refrigerator. Toys were scattered in the living room, evidence of a real child living a real life here. "The kids can play in the den," Nathan said, leading them to a room with a massive television, comfortable couches, and bins full of toys. "There are games, movies, arts and craft supplies. Whatever they want." Sophie immediately pulled out a board game, and the 3 children settled on the floor, arguing good-naturedly about rules. In the kitchen, Nathan prepared hot chocolate from scratch, showing Amara how he melted real chocolate into warm milk. They carried mugs and a plate of sugar cookies to the kitchen table, sitting across from each other. "So, Rachel tells me you nailed the interview," Nathan said. "She was very kind," Amara replied. "Everyone at your company seems kind." "I try to hire people who see employees as humans, not resources," Nathan said. "My father built Pierce Industries on the backs of overworked, underappreciated staff. When I took over, I changed things. Better pay, better benefits, better culture. Turns out when you treat people well, they do better work." "That's rare," Amara observed. "It shouldn't be," Nathan said. "But yes, apparently treating employees like they matter is revolutionary in the business world." They talked easily, the conversation flowing naturally. Nathan asked about the twins, about how Amara managed everything. She found herself opening up about the struggles, the constant juggling, the fear that she wasn't doing enough. "You're doing more than enough," Nathan said firmly. "Your kids are happy, healthy, and polite. They know they're loved. That's what matters." "Sophie's wonderful too," Amara said. "You're doing an amazing job with her." Nathan's expression softened. "Some days I wonder. Caroline, my wife, she was the heart of our family. When she died, I felt like I lost my compass. I threw myself into work because I didn't know how to just be a father without her." "But you figured it out," Amara said gently. "I'm still figuring it out," Nathan admitted. "Every day is new territory. Last night was the first time in 2 years that I've seen Sophie laugh like that, genuinely joyful. Your kids brought something back to life in her." From the den came the sound of children's laughter, bright and unrestrained. Both adults smiled. "They're good together," Amara observed. "They are," Nathan agreed. Then, hesitantly, "I hope this doesn't sound presumptuous, but I'd like for them to spend more time together. Playdates, maybe outings on weekends. Sophie doesn't have siblings and she's been lonely. Your twins seem to fill something in her." "The twins would love that," Amara said immediately. They talked about Sophie all morning. "Apparently she's the coolest person they've ever met." Nathan laughed. "Wait until the novelty wears off." "I don't think it will," Amara said. "There's something special about her. About all of this, honestly. 2 days ago I was drowning. Today I have a job that will change our lives and new friends who make my children smile. It feels like a miracle." "Not a miracle," Nathan said. "Just people being decent to each other. The way things should always be." They spent the rest of the afternoon watching the children play. Nathan ordered pizza for dinner and they all ate together in the den, the kids on the floor and the adults on the couch. It was comfortable, easy, like they'd known each other for years instead of days. When it was time to leave, the twins didn't want to go. Sophie clung to Zoe, making her promise they'd see each other soon. "Next weekend," Nathan suggested. "Maybe we could take them to the Children's Museum?" "That sounds perfect," Amara agreed. At the front door, Nathan handed Amara a large shopping bag. "Before I forget, these are for the twins." Inside were 2 winter coats, thick and warm, in Isaiah's and Zoe's exact sizes. One navy blue, one bright green, both with hoods and deep pockets. "Nathan, this is too much," Amara started, but he held up a hand. "They need coats. I bought coats. Simple as that." Please just accept them. Amara thought about protesting, about insisting she could handle it herself. But she remembered his words about grace, about allowing people the privilege of caring. She looked at the coats, imagining her children finally being warm, and felt gratitude wash over her. Thank you, she said simply. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. You're welcome, Nathan replied. Now go home, get some rest. You start your new job in less than a week. Big changes ahead. On the bus ride home with the twins wearing their new coats despite the warm bus, Amara felt something she hadn't felt in years. Hope. Real, tangible hope that life could be better, that kindness existed, that maybe she didn't have to do everything alone. Isaiah fell asleep against her shoulder, and Zoe held her hand tightly. Mommy? Zoe whispered. Are Nathan and Sophie our friends now? Yes, baby, Amara whispered back. I think they are. Good, Zoe said, smiling. I like having friends. Me too, sweetheart, Amara said. Me too. Amara's first day at Pierce Industries arrived faster than she expected. She'd given notice at both her jobs, enduring her grocery store manager's annoyance and her call center supervisor's unexpected best wishes. Mrs. Patterson had agreed to watch the twins after school for a reasonable rate, and Amara had spent the weekend preparing herself mentally for this new chapter. She stood outside the Pierce Industries building at 7:45 in the morning, wearing the one professional outfit she owned and carrying a lunch she'd packed the night before. The glass doors reflected her nervous expression back at her. You've got this, she whispered to herself, then walked inside. Rachel met her in the lobby, warm and welcoming in a green blazer that matched her energetic personality. Ready for your first day? As ready as I'll ever be, Amara admitted. The operations department occupied the 12th floor, an open workspace with cubicles arranged in clusters. Rachel introduced Amara to her team, 6 people who would rely on her coordination skills to keep their projects running smoothly. Everyone was friendly, shaking her hand, welcoming her genuinely. Her desk sat near a window with a computer, phone, and various office supplies already set up. A small welcome basket contained company swag, a coffee mug, and a note from Rachel. So glad you're here. You're going to be great. The first few hours passed in a blur of orientation materials, system logins, and process explanations. Amara took careful notes, asking questions when she didn't understand, slowly building a picture of what her role would entail. At noon, someone knocked on her cubicle wall. She looked up to find Nathan standing there in a navy suit, looking every inch the CEO. How's it going? He asked. Good, Amara said, standing automatically. Everyone's been really welcoming. That's great. Listen, I know it's your first day, but I wanted to check something. Do you have childcare arranged? Yes, my neighbor watches them after school. And it's working out? Nathan pressed gently. Amara hesitated. The truth was Mrs. Patterson charged $20 a day, which was reasonable but still strained Amara's budget. And the arrangement only covered until 6 o'clock, leaving little flexibility if Amara needed to stay late. It's fine, she said, not wanting to seem ungrateful or difficult on her first day. Nathan studied her face. Amara, I'm asking as a friend, not your boss. Is the childcare situation actually working? Amara sighed. It's tight financially and the hours are limited. But I'll make it work. How about this? Nathan said. Pierce Industries has an after-school program partnership with Riverside Elementary. It's free for employee children, runs until 6:30, and includes homework help and activities. Would that help? The twins go to Riverside, Amara said slowly. But free? That seems too good to be true. It's part of our benefits package, Nathan explained. We found that employees work better when they're not worried about childcare. There's a shuttle that picks up from the school and brings them here to the building's childcare center. You pick them up on your way out. Amara felt tears threatening again. She seemed to spend half her time lately on the verge of crying. That would be incredible. How do I sign up? Rachel can help you with the paperwork this afternoon, Nathan said. Now, have you eaten lunch? I brought something. Bring it up to my office. Sophie's here today because her school is closed for teacher planning. She's been asking about the twins all morning. Amara followed Nathan to the 20th floor, where his office took up a corner with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. But what caught her attention was Sophie, sitting at a small table with coloring books spread out, wearing a bright yellow dress with white flowers. Amara, Sophie shouted, running over to hug her. You're here. Daddy said you were working here now. I am, Amara confirmed, hugging her back. First day. How are Isaiah and Zoe? Can they come over again soon? They're good and yes, I'm sure they'd love that. Nathan ordered sandwiches for everyone, and they ate together while Sophie chatted about her favorite books and the horse riding lessons she took every Saturday. She was mature for 7, articulate and curious, asking Amara thoughtful questions about her first morning at work. Daddy says you're very smart, Sophie announced. He says you're going to do really well here. Amara glanced at Nathan, who looked slightly embarrassed. Your dad is very kind. He's also right, Nathan said. Rachel sent me your morning evaluation. You picked up the systems faster than anyone she's trained in 2 years. The rest of the day flew by. Amara coordinated meetings, managed schedules, fielded questions from team members, and slowly found her rhythm. At 5 o'clock, she shut down her computer, gathered her things, and headed to the childcare center on the 3rd floor. The space was bright and cheerful, with different activity zones and engaged staff members. The twins weren't there yet since they'd stayed with Mrs. Patterson for today, but Amara filled out all the enrollment paperwork, learning they could start tomorrow. Walking to the bus stop, Amara felt exhausted but energized. She'd done it. She'd made it through her first day and it had been good. Better than good. She'd felt valued, respected, like her work mattered. That evening, after putting the twins to bed, her phone rang. Nathan. Hi, she answered. Hey, I hope it's not too late to call. I wanted to check how you were feeling after today. Honestly? Amazing. Everyone was wonderful. Thank you again for this opportunity. You don't have to keep thanking me, Nathan said gently. You earned this position. But I'm glad it went well. Sophie hasn't stopped talking about seeing you today. She wants to know if the twins can come over this Saturday. They'd love that, Amara said. They've been asking about Sophie every day. Great. How about I pick you all up Saturday morning? We can take them to the park, maybe get lunch, let them run around and be kids. You don't have to drive all the way to my neighborhood, Amara protested. Amara, Nathan said patiently, I want to. Besides, I need to make sure you're not living somewhere unsafe. It's not fancy but it's safe, Amara said, a touch of defensiveness creeping into her voice. I didn't mean to offend, Nathan said quickly. I just worry. Single mother, 2 jobs until recently, budget stretched thin. I want to make sure you and the kids are okay. His concern sounded genuine, not judgmental. Amara softened. We're okay. The apartment's small, but it's clean and the neighborhood is decent. Fair enough, Nathan said. I'll still pick you up Saturday. 10 o'clock work? Perfect. They talked for another 20 minutes about nothing important. Nathan shared a funny story about Sophie's attempt to make breakfast that morning. Amara told him about Isaiah's latest dinosaur obsession. The conversation felt natural, comfortable, like talking to an old friend. After hanging up, Amara sat in the quiet of her living room, processing everything. A week ago, she'd been standing outside a restaurant in the cold, watching her children's Christmas dreams disappear. Now she had a good job, new friends, and opportunities she'd never imagined possible. Saturday arrived cold but sunny. At exactly 10 o'clock, a sleek car pulled up outside Amara's building. Nathan got out, opening the back door where Sophie bounced excitedly. The twins rushed down the stairs, Amara following, suddenly self-conscious about Nathan seeing where she lived. But Nathan just smiled, greeting the twins warmly and helping everyone into the car. Everyone buckled? Great. First stop, Riverside Park. The park was busy with weekend families. Nathan had brought a soccer ball, and soon all 4 children were running across the grass, laughing and shouting. Nathan and Amara sat on a bench watching. They're really good together, Nathan observed. Sophie's usually shy around other kids, but with Isaiah and Zoe she just opens up. The twins are the same, Amara said. They've always had each other, but adding Sophie to their circle has been special. Can I ask you something personal? Nathan said hesitantly. Sure. What happened with your ex-husband? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. Amara was quiet for a moment, gathering her thoughts. We met young, got married fast. I got pregnant right away with the twins. He seemed excited at first, but after they were born, reality hit. 2 crying babies, no sleep, all the stress. He started staying out later, coming home less. One day he just said he couldn't do it anymore and left. Haven't heard from him since. I'm sorry, Nathan said. That must have been devastating. It was, Amara admitted. But I learned I was stronger than I thought. I learned I could do hard things. And I learned that sometimes people leave, but that doesn't mean you stop moving forward. Caroline's death taught me something similar, Nathan said quietly. She had a brain aneurysm. Totally unexpected. One minute she was fine, the next she was gone. I learned that life is fragile, that nothing is guaranteed, and that you have to hold tight to the people who matter. They sat in comfortable silence, watching their children play. After a while, Nathan spoke again. I want to help you more, Amara. Please don't take this the wrong way, but I'd like to cover some things. The twins' childcare costs, maybe help with rent, whatever would make your life easier. Nathan, you've already done so much, Amara protested. And I'd like to do more, he said firmly. Look, I have more money than I could spend in 10 lifetimes. It sits in accounts doing nothing except getting bigger. I'd much rather use it to actually help someone. To help you and your kids have the life you deserve. I don't want to be a charity case, Amara said quietly. You're not a charity case. You're my friend, Nathan said. If our situations were reversed, if you had resources and I was struggling, wouldn't you want to help? Amara thought about it honestly. Yes, I would. Then let me help. Not because you're weak or incapable, but because that's what friends do. They support each other. Amara looked at her children running and laughing in their warm coats, healthy and happy. She thought about saying no, about clinging to her independence and pride. But she also thought about what Nathan had said about grace, about allowing people to care. Okay, she said softly. Thank you. I accept your help gratefully. Nathan smiled. Good. Now let's take these kids for the best lunch they've ever had. They went to a family restaurant, nothing fancy but warm and welcoming. Over burgers and fries, the children made plans for future adventures. Sophie wanted to take the twins to her horseback riding stable. Isaiah wanted to show Sophie his dinosaur books. Zoe wanted to have a tea party with fancy dresses. Nathan and Amara made all of it possible, planning dates and coordinating schedules. By the end of the day, as Nathan drove them home, Amara felt something shift inside her. This wasn't just kindness from a stranger anymore. This was friendship, real and growing, based on mutual respect and genuine care. Same time next week? Nathan asked as they pulled up to her building. Absolutely, Amara said. The twins hugged Sophie goodbye, making her promise to call them during the week. As they walked up to their apartment, Isaiah turned to Amara with a serious expression. Mommy, Nathan and Sophie are our family now, right? Amara's heart swelled. Not officially, baby. But they're definitely special people in our lives. They feel like family, Zoe said quietly. They do, Amara agreed. They really do. That night, tucking her children into bed, Amara reflected on how much had changed in just a week. She'd gone from barely surviving to actually thriving. She had a job she was good at, friends who cared about her, and hope for the future. As she settled onto her couch for the night, her phone buzzed with a text from Nathan. Thank you for today. Sophie and I both needed it more than you know. Sleep well. Amara replied, thank you for everything. You've changed our lives. Nathan's response came quickly, we've changed each other's lives. That's how friendship works. Amara smiled, setting her phone aside. For the first time in years, she fell asleep without worrying about tomorrow. Tomorrow would be okay. Better than okay. Because she wasn't facing it alone anymore. 3 weeks into her new job, Amara had found her stride at Pierce Industries. She'd become the person everyone relied on to keep operations running smoothly. Her color-coded scheduling system had increased meeting efficiency by 20%. Her communication protocols had reduced email confusion significantly. Rachel had already mentioned the possibility of a promotion in 6 months. The twins thrived in the after-school program. Isaiah had joined a robotics club, and Zoe had discovered a love for painting. They'd made friends, earned good grades, and stopped asking Amara if they had enough money for things. The constant financial anxiety that had marked their early childhood was beginning to fade. Every Saturday, Nathan picked them up for adventures with Sophie. They'd gone to museums, parks, movies, and once to a professional basketball game that made Isaiah lose his mind with excitement. The children's friendship had deepened into something beautiful, and Amara found herself looking forward to seeing Nathan as much as the kids looked forward to seeing Sophie. On a Thursday afternoon, Amara was coordinating a complex meeting schedule when her phone rang. The school. Ms. Washington? This is Nurse Kelly from Riverside Elementary. Isaiah is in my office. He's been complaining of stomach pain and has a fever. Amara's heart dropped. How high? 102. He needs to be picked up. I'll be there in 20 minutes, Amara said, already gathering her things. She stopped by Rachel's office, explaining the situation. Rachel immediately waved her off. Go. Family comes first. Keep me updated. The school was a 15-minute bus ride, but Amara splurged on a rideshare to save time. Isaiah sat in the nurse's office, pale and quiet, clutching his stomach. Zoe sat beside him, holding his hand, looking worried. "Mommy," Isaiah whimpered when he saw her. "I'm here, baby," Amara said, feeling his forehead. He was burning up. "Let's get you home." But as she signed him out, Isaiah suddenly doubled over, crying out in pain. The nurse immediately called an ambulance. "That's not just a stomach bug. He needs to be checked right away." The next hours passed in a terrifying blur. The emergency room. Doctors examining Isaiah. Tests. More tests. Amara held Zoe close, trying to keep herself calm while her son cried from pain. Finally, a doctor approached. "Ms. Washington? Isaiah has appendicitis. We need to operate immediately. It hasn't ruptured yet, but we can't wait." "Surgery?" Amara's voice cracked. "Is he going to be okay?" "Appendectomies are routine, especially when caught early like this. He'll be fine, but we need your consent to proceed." Amara signed the forms with shaking hands. As they wheeled Isaiah away to prep for surgery, she finally let herself cry. She called Mrs. Patterson to pick up Zoe, then sat alone in the waiting room, praying harder than she'd prayed in years. Her phone rang. "Nathan. Hey, I just heard from Rachel about Isaiah. Which hospital are you at?" "County General," Amara said. "But Nathan, you don't have to." "I'm already in my car," he interrupted gently. "I'll be there in 10 minutes. True to his word, Nathan arrived quickly, still wearing his work suit. He sat beside Amara, not saying anything at first, just being there. His presence alone made her feel less alone. "They're operating now," Amara finally said. "Appendicitis. The doctor said it's routine, but he's so small, Nathan. He's only 5 years old." "He's going to be fine," Nathan said firmly. "Isaiah's tough. He gets that from his mother." They sat together for 2 hours before a surgeon emerged. "Ms. Washington? The surgery went perfectly. We removed the appendix before it ruptured. Isaiah is in recovery now, and you can see him in about 30 minutes. Amara sagged with relief, tears streaming down her face. Nathan hugged her gently, letting her cry against his shoulder. When she could finally see Isaiah, he was groggy from anesthesia but awake. "Mommy," he mumbled. "I'm right here, baby," Amara said, taking his hand. "You did so good. You're so brave." Nathan stood in the doorway, giving them space but staying close. When a nurse came to check Isaiah's vitals, she handed Amara a clipboard with discharge papers and billing information. Amara's stomach dropped as she scanned the estimated costs. Even with the insurance from Pierce Industries, the deductible and copays would be thousands of dollars. Money she didn't have. Money that would take months to save. "Don't look at that right now," Nathan said quietly, appearing at her side. "Focus on Isaiah getting better. The rest we'll figure out." "Nathan, I can't ask you to." "You're not asking. I'm offering," he said. "Actually, I'm insisting. Medical bills are getting handled." End of discussion. "That's too much," Amara protested weakly. "It's nothing compared to having Isaiah healthy," Nathan said. "Please, Amara. Let me do this. Let me help." Amara looked at her son, small and vulnerable in the hospital bed, then at Nathan's earnest face. She thought about pride versus practicality, about independence versus accepting care. "Thank you," she whispered. "I don't know how I'll ever repay you." "Friendship isn't about keeping score," Nathan said. "It's about being there when it matters." Isaiah had to stay in the hospital overnight for observation. Nathan stayed with Amara the entire time, bringing her coffee, making sure she ate, keeping her company during the long, quiet hours. He called his housekeeper to watch Sophie, insisting everything at home was fine. Around midnight, while Isaiah slept peacefully, Amara and Nathan sat in the dimly lit hospital room, talking quietly. "Why are you doing all of this?" Amara asked. "Really? I need to understand." Nathan was quiet for a long moment. "When Caroline died, I felt like I was drowning. Sophie needed me to be strong, but I was falling apart. And people kept asking if I needed help, but I kept saying no. I thought accepting help made me weak, made me a failure as a father and a husband." He paused, his voice thick with emotion. "My sister finally sat me down and said something I'll never forget. She said that refusing help doesn't make you strong. It just makes you alone. She said that letting people in, letting people care, that's actually the brave thing." "I'm starting to understand that," Amara said softly. "Meeting you and the twins, seeing Sophie come alive again, that's been healing for me too," Nathan continued. "You're not taking from me, Amara. You're giving. You're giving Sophie a sense of family. You're giving me a purpose beyond just work. You're giving both of us reasons to smile again." "I don't feel like I'm giving much," Amara admitted. You're giving everything, Nathan said. Your strength inspires me. Your dedication to your kids reminds me what matters. Your willingness to accept help even when it's hard teaches me grace. You're an amazing person, Amara Washington. Before we continue, I have to ask, have you ever had someone see your worth when you couldn't see it yourself? Have you experienced the kind of friendship that changes everything? If this story is touching your heart, please take a moment to subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. Your engagement helps us create more stories about hope, kindness, and human connection. They talked through the night, sharing stories about their lives, their fears, their hopes. Nathan told her about growing up wealthy but lonely, about the pressure of running his father's company, about the guilt he felt that Caroline's death had been so sudden he never got to say goodbye. Amara shared her childhood, growing up with a single mother who worked 3 jobs, about dreaming of becoming a nurse but having to put college on hold when the twins came, about the shame she felt when her husband left, as if his abandonment was somehow her fault. It wasn't your fault, Nathan said firmly. He was weak. You're strong. That's all there is to it. I don't always feel strong, Amara admitted. Strong people rarely do, Nathan said. They're too busy actually being strong to notice. By morning, Isaiah was alert and asking for breakfast. The doctors cleared him for discharge with strict instructions for rest and follow-up care. Nathan had already arranged for a car to take them home and had his housekeeper, Mrs. Chen, deliver meals for the week so Amara wouldn't have to cook while caring for Isaiah. At her apartment, Nathan helped get Isaiah settled on the couch with pillows and blankets. Sophie arrived with Zoe, both girls careful around their recovering friend but obviously relieved to see him okay. We made you a get well card, Sophie announced, showing Isaiah a poster covered in drawings and messages. And we got you a new dinosaur book. Isaiah's eyes lit up despite his discomfort. Thank you. Over the next few days, Nathan stopped by every evening after work. He brought dinner, helped with the twins' homework, and gave Amara breaks to shower or rest. He never acted like it was a burden or an inconvenience. He just showed up, consistently and reliably. Rachel had given Amara the week off work, paid, insisting that family emergencies were exactly what personal time was for. Another kindness Amara had never experienced at her previous jobs. On Friday evening, Isaiah was well enough to sit at the table for dinner. Nathan had brought Chinese food and they all ate together, the children chatting happily. After the twins went to bed, Nathan and Amara sat in her small living room, drinking tea. I don't know how to thank you properly, Amara said. Everything you've done this week. Amara, stop, Nathan said gently. You do the same for me. Actually, you already do. You make Sophie happier than I've seen her in 2 years. You make me feel less alone. That's worth more than any medical bill. I want to do something for you, Amara insisted. Cook dinner at your house, help organize something, anything. Nathan smiled. Actually, there is something. Sophie's birthday is in 2 weeks. I usually hire a party planner, do something big and expensive. But this year she asked for something different. She wants a small party with just her closest friends. Which, as it turns out, is Isaiah and Zoe. A party for Sophie? Amara's face brightened. I can definitely help with that. I'm not rich, but I can bake a cake, help with decorations. I was thinking we could plan it together, Nathan said. Make it personal instead of professional. Something intimate and meaningful. Would you help me? Absolutely, Amara said. I'd be honored. They spent the next hour planning Sophie's party, bouncing ideas back and forth, laughing at ridiculous suggestions. It felt natural, comfortable, like they'd been doing this together for years. When Nathan finally left, Amara felt something shift in her chest. This wasn't just gratitude anymore. This was something deeper, something that scared and excited her simultaneously. She was falling for Nathan Pierce. The realization hit her like a wave. Somewhere between Christmas Eve dinner and hospital vigils, between Saturday adventures and quiet evening conversations, she'd stopped seeing him as just a generous benefactor and started seeing him as, what? A partner? A potential future? It terrified her. She'd sworn after her ex-husband left that she'd never depend on anyone again. She'd promised herself she'd stay focused on her children and her career, that romance was a luxury she couldn't afford. But Nathan had slipped past her defenses without even trying. He'd shown her what real kindness looked like, what genuine care felt like. He'd proven that accepting help didn't make her weak, that letting someone in didn't mean losing herself. Amara sat on her couch, staring at the spot where Nathan had sat moments before, and made a decision. She wouldn't run from these feelings. She wouldn't sabotage something beautiful out of fear. She'd learned that kindness should lead the way forward. Maybe it was time to let hope lead too. And maybe, just maybe, it was time to let love begin to grow. Sophie's birthday party was planned for a Saturday afternoon at Nathan's house. Amara had spent the week before baking the most elaborate cake she'd ever attempted. 3 layers, chocolate with vanilla buttercream, decorated with hand-piped flowers in Sophie's favorite colors, purple and yellow. The morning of the party, Nathan picked up Amara and the twins early so they could help set up. The twins wore their best clothes, Isaiah in a blue button-down shirt and Zoe in a maroon dress. Amara had chosen a simple green dress that she'd found on sale, nothing fancy but clean and presentable. When Nathan answered the door, Amara's breath caught. He wore jeans and a red sweater, his hair slightly mussed, looking relaxed and approachable. He smiled when he saw her, that warm smile that made her heart do unexpected things. "You look beautiful," he said simply. "Thank you," Amara replied, feeling heat rise to her cheeks. "Where's the birthday girl?" "Still getting dressed. She's been excited since dawn," Nathan said, ushering them inside. "I'm a little terrified of how much sugar she's going to consume today." They spent the morning transforming Nathan's living room into a party space. Streamers in purple and yellow, balloons floating near the ceiling, a banner that Isaiah helped color declaring, "Happy Birthday, Sophie." Amara set up party games, organized the gift table, and arranged the food Nathan had catered. The cake, her masterpiece, sat proudly on the dining room table under a glass dome. Nathan had gasped when he saw it, insisting it was too beautiful to eat. "It's meant to be eaten," Amara had laughed. "That's the whole point." Sophie finally emerged around noon, wearing a new yellow dress with a purple sash. She squealed when she saw the decorations, hugging everyone multiple times. "This is the best birthday ever," she declared. "And we haven't even started yet." The party itself was small but perfect. Besides Isaiah and Zoe, Sophie had invited 2 girls from school, Brittany Chin and Emma Rodriguez, both quiet but sweet. The 6 children played party games, ate pizza and fruit and laughed constantly. Nathan and Amara supervised, but mostly they just watched the children having fun. At one point, Nathan pulled Amara aside into the kitchen. "This is exactly what I wanted," he said quietly. "Something real, something meaningful. Not a circus with 50 kids Sophie barely knows. Thank you for helping me understand what she actually needed." "She just needed people who really care about her," Amara said. "That's all any of us need." When it was time for cake, everyone gathered around the dining table. Amara carefully brought out her creation, placing it in front of Sophie. The little girl's eyes went wide. "You made this?" Sophie breathed. "It's so pretty." "Your dad told me you love flowers," Amara said. "So I tried to make it special." They sang happy birthday, Sophie blew out her candles and Nathan cut the cake while Amara served. Every child got a generous slice and the adults shared pieces too. The cake was moist and delicious, and Sophie insisted Amara was the best baker in the world. After presents and more games, the other parents came to pick up their daughters. Soon it was just Sophie, Nathan, Amara, and the twins, sprawled in the living room surrounded by wrapping paper and party debris. "I never want this day to end," Sophie sighed contentedly. "All good days have to end so new good days can begin," Nathan said philosophically. Then to Amara, "Stay for dinner? I'm ordering Italian, and there's no way we're eating all these leftovers ourselves." "Please stay, Amara," Sophie begged. "Please?" "We'd love to," Amara agreed. Dinner was casual and comfortable. They ate at Nathan's kitchen table, passing dishes back and forth, the children recounting their favorite party moments. After the twins helped Sophie organize her new toys, Nathan suggested a movie in the den. Halfway through an animated film, all 3 children fell asleep on the large sectional couch, tangled together like puppies. Nathan and Amara sat on the opposite end, careful not to disturb them. "This is nice," Nathan said softly, his arm stretched along the back of the couch behind Amara. "Having a full house. Having people to share life with." "It is nice," Amara agreed. She could feel the warmth of his arm near her shoulders, not touching but close enough that she was hyper-aware of his presence. "Can I tell you something?" Nathan asked, his voice low. "Of course. These past few weeks, spending time with you and the twins, have been the happiest I've been since Caroline died. You've brought something back into my life that I thought was gone forever." Amara's heart raced. "What's that?" "Joy," Nathan said simply. "Real, uncomplicated joy." Sophie laughs again. I laugh again. "We feel like a family instead of just 2 people existing in the same house." "You've given us the same thing," Amara said quietly. "You've given us stability and security. You've shown my children what kindness looks like." You've shown me that good people still exist in the world. They sat in silence for a moment, the movie playing softly in the background. Then Nathan shifted slightly, turning to face her more directly. Amara, I need to be honest about something. And if this changes anything between us, I understand. But I can't keep pretending I don't feel it. Amara's breath caught. Feel what? I care about you, Nathan said carefully. More than just as a friend. More than just as Sophie's mother figure. I care about you as a person I want in my life permanently. Someone I think about constantly. Someone who makes me want to be better. Amara felt tears prick her eyes. Nathan. You don't have to say anything right now, he continued quickly. I know this is complicated. I'm your boss, technically, even though you work 2 floors below me and we barely interact professionally. I have a daughter to consider. You have twins to protect. There are a lot of reasons why this might not work. But, Amara prompted gently. But there are even more reasons why it might, Nathan said. We're good together. Our kids are good together. We make each other better. We've been through hard times and shown up for each other. Isn't that what relationships are built on? Amara knew she should be cautious. She should protect her heart and her children. She should remember the pain of her ex-husband's abandonment and refuse to risk that kind of hurt again. But looking at Nathan's earnest face, thinking about how patient and kind and consistent he'd been, she couldn't find any fear. Only hope. I care about you too, she admitted. I've been trying not to because it seemed too good to be true. Too impossible. You're a billionaire CEO, and I'm a single mother who was barely surviving a month ago. It doesn't make sense. None of the best things in life make sense, Nathan said. They just feel right. This does feel right, Amara whispered. That's what scares me. Nathan reached out slowly, giving her time to pull away, and took her hand. We don't have to rush anything. We don't have to change everything overnight. We can just keep doing what we're doing but acknowledge that there's something more here. Something worth exploring. What about Sophie? Amara asked. What about the twins? If we try this and it doesn't work, then we handle it carefully and make sure the kids are okay, Nathan said. But Amara, what if it does work? What if this is the beginning of something amazing? Amara looked at the couch where their children slept peacefully, completely comfortable with each other, completely trusting. They'd already formed their own family unit in their hearts. Maybe it was time the adults admitted they wanted the same thing. Okay, Amara said finally. Let's try. Slowly, carefully, but let's try. Nathan's smile was brilliant. Really? Really? Amara confirmed, smiling back. But Nathan, I need you to understand something. I'm not with you for your money. I need you to believe that. I know that, Nathan said firmly. You've never asked me for anything. Every time I offer help, you resist. That's how I know your feelings are genuine. Good, Amara said. Because my feelings are real. You're not my savior or my meal ticket. You're just you. And I like you for you. That might be the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me, Nathan said softly. They sat together holding hands, watching their children sleep, imagining the possibilities ahead. It felt natural and right, like pieces of a puzzle finally fitting together. Eventually, Amara needed to get the twins home for bed. Nathan helped carry her sleeping children to the car, buckling them carefully into their seats. At her apartment, he helped carry them upstairs, settling them into their beds without waking them. At the door he paused. So, we're doing this? We're actually trying to build something together? We are, Amara confirmed. Slow and steady, with the kids' well-being as our top priority. Agreed, Nathan said. Can I take you on a proper date? Just the two of us, dinner and conversation, no kids as buffers. I'd like that, Amara said, feeling butterflies in her stomach. Friday night? I'll arrange a sitter for Sophie, you can arrange care for the twins, and we can have an actual grown-up evening. Friday's perfect. Nathan leaned in slowly, giving her plenty of time to stop him, and pressed a gentle kiss to her forehead. Good night, Amara. Good night, Nathan. After he left, Amara leaned against her closed door, touching her forehead where his lips had been, and smiled. For years she'd believed romance was something other people experienced, something she'd given up when she chose to focus solely on survival and motherhood. But maybe she didn't have to choose. Maybe she could be a good mother and still open her heart to love. Maybe she deserved happiness beyond just providing for her children. Maybe, just maybe, she deserved someone like Nathan Pierce in her life. That week at work, Amara found herself smiling for no reason. Rachel noticed during their Monday morning meeting. You seem different, Rachel observed. Good different. Happy different. I am happy, Amara admitted. Things are just good right now. I'm glad, Rachel said warmly. You deserve good things, Amara. You work hard and care deeply. That combination deserves to be rewarded. Friday evening arrived, and Amara spent an hour getting ready while Mrs. Patterson watched the twins. She wore her green dress again, the nicest thing she owned, and took extra care with her hair and makeup. Nathan picked her up at 7, looking handsome in a navy blazer and gray slacks. He'd made reservations at a quiet Italian restaurant, nothing ostentatious but elegant and intimate. Over pasta and wine they talked about everything and nothing. Nathan shared stories about building his company, about the challenges of taking over from his father, about learning to trust his own instincts. Amara told him about her dreams of finishing nursing school, about wanting to help people the way various nurses had helped her and her children over the years. Why nursing? Nathan asked, genuinely curious. Because nurses are the people who actually care, Amara explained. Doctors diagnose and prescribe, and that's important. But nurses are the ones who hold your hand, who explain things in ways you understand, who see you as a person instead of a case. When Isaiah was in the hospital, the nurses made all the difference. You'd be an amazing nurse, Nathan said. You're naturally compassionate and patient. It's just a dream right now, Amara said. The nursing program is expensive and time-consuming. With the twins still so young. What if it didn't have to be just a dream? Nathan said carefully. What if I told you Pierce Industries has an education assistance program? We pay for employees to pursue degrees related to healthcare, technology, or business. Full tuition as long as you maintain certain grades. Amara stared at him. Are you serious? Completely serious. It's an existing program, not something I'm making up to help you specifically. Though I'd be thrilled if you used it. Nathan, I don't know what to say. Say you'll think about it, Nathan encouraged. Say you'll at least look into the program requirements. Your dreams matter, Amara. You've spent years putting yourself last. Maybe it's time to put yourself first, at least a little bit. They talked more about the possibility, about logistics and schedules. Nathan pointed out that with the twins in the after-school program and his flexible work environment, Amara could potentially take classes in the evenings or online. It seemed impossible, but the more they discussed it, the more possible it became. After dinner, they walked through the downtown area, looking at holiday lights that were still up in late January. Nathan took her hand and it felt right, natural. I haven't done this in a long time, Nathan admitted. Dating, I mean. I'm not sure I remember how. I think you're doing fine, Amara said, smiling. Better than fine, actually. Good, Nathan said, stopping under a streetlight. Because I really like you, Amara Washington. And I'd very much like to kiss you right now if that's okay. Amara's heart raced, but she nodded. That's okay. Nathan cupped her face gently and kissed her softly, sweetly, like she was something precious. It was nothing like the aggressive, demanding kisses from her ex-husband. This was gentle and caring, full of promise and patience. When they pulled apart, both were smiling. That was nice, Amara said breathlessly. Very nice, Nathan agreed. Can we do it again? They kissed again under the January stars, two people who'd found each other in unexpected ways, building something beautiful from simple kindness and genuine connection. The drive back to her apartment was filled with comfortable conversation. At her door, Nathan kissed her goodnight again, this time with a bit more confidence, a bit more certainty. Same time next week? He asked hopefully. Absolutely, Amara said. As she settled onto her couch that night, checking on her sleeping children and replaying every moment of the evening, Amara felt something she hadn't felt in years, complete and utter contentment. She had a job she loved, children who were thriving, friends who cared about her, and now, potentially, a relationship with an amazing man. Life wasn't perfect. There were still challenges ahead, still uncertainties to navigate. But for the first time since her ex-husband had left, Amara felt like she wasn't just surviving. She was actually living. And it was beautiful. February brought snow to the city, covering everything in white and transforming the urban landscape into something almost magical. Isaiah and Zoe were obsessed with building snowmen and having snowball fights during recess. Sophie joined them most days, their friendship growing deeper with each shared experience. Amara had settled into a routine that worked. Mornings getting the twins ready and dropping them at school, full days at Pierce Industries where she excelled at coordinating complex projects, evenings picking up the kids from the after-school program, dinners and homework time, then bedtime stories before collapsing in exhaustion. Nathan had become a regular presence in their lives. He'd come over for dinner twice a week, helping with dishes and playing board games with the children. On weekends, they alternated between activities at his house and simpler outings like ice skating or visiting libraries. Their relationship was progressing slowly but steadily, both of them careful to ensure the children adjusted comfortably. One Tuesday evening, Amara was preparing spaghetti when her phone rang. The after-school program director. "Ms. Washington, don't be alarmed, but Isaiah isn't feeling well. He says his stomach hurts and he's running a slight fever. You should probably come get him." Amara's first thought was appendicitis again, a flash of panic. "I'll be right there." She called Nathan, who was still in the office. "Can you pick up Zoe from the program? Isaiah's sick and I need to get him." "Of course. I'll take her home with me until you can pick her up. Keep me updated on Isaiah." At the after-school center, Isaiah sat in a corner looking miserable. "No fever over 100, the director assured her, just mild stomach upset. Probably a virus going around." At home, Amara settled Isaiah on the couch with a blanket, taking his temperature regularly, monitoring his symptoms. He seemed uncomfortable but not in severe pain. Still, she couldn't shake the memory of his emergency surgery, couldn't stop worrying that something serious was happening again. By 9 o'clock, Isaiah was vomiting. By 10 he had a higher fever. Amara called the pediatrician's after-hours line, describing the symptoms. The nurse suggested monitoring him overnight, but if the fever spiked or he showed signs of dehydration, she should bring him to the emergency room. Amara texted Nathan, "Isaiah's getting worse. Might have to go to ER. Can Zoe stay with you tonight?" The response came immediately, "Of course. Sophie's already put out pajamas for her. Take care of Isaiah. Call me if you need anything at all." At midnight, Isaiah's fever hit 104 despite medication. Amara called a rideshare, wrapped him in blankets and took him back to County General Emergency Room. The waiting room was crowded, every seat filled with sick children and worried parents. Amara held Isaiah close, rocking him gently, whispering that everything would be okay even though her own heart raced with fear. They waited 2 hours before being called back. Another hour for examination. The diagnosis was influenza, severe but not life-threatening. The doctor prescribed antivirals, fluids, rest. "He'll be miserable for about a week," the doctor explained. "Fever, body aches, fatigue. Keep him hydrated, give him the medication as directed, and bring him back if anything worsens." It was 4 in the morning when they finally got home. Amara carried Isaiah inside, settling him in bed with medicine and water within reach. She collapsed on the couch, setting her alarm for 2 hours so she could check on him. Her phone buzzed with a text from Nathan, "Just checking in. Everything okay?" Even at 4 in the morning he was awake and concerned. Amara called instead of texting. "You should be sleeping," she said when he answered. "So should you," Nathan countered. "How's Isaiah?" "Flu. Bad case but he'll recover. I just feel like I can't catch a break, you know? Every time things settle down, something else happens." "That's parenthood," Nathan said gently. "And single parenthood especially. You're doing everything alone and that's exhausting. But Amara, you don't have to do it alone anymore. I'm here. Let me help." "You're already keeping Zoe," Amara protested. "That's more than enough. Zoe's asleep in Sophie's room, perfectly happy. What I mean is, let me take care of you while you take care of Isaiah. I'll have Mrs. Chen prepare meals and deliver them. I'll handle Zoe's care for as long as you need. I'll do whatever helps lighten your load." Amara felt tears threatening. "I'm supposed to be strong enough to handle this myself." "Why?" Nathan asked simply. "Why do you have to handle everything alone? Strength isn't about never needing help. It's about knowing when to accept support." "I'm just tired," Amara admitted. "So tired." "Then rest," Nathan said. "Take care of Isaiah, sleep when you can and let me handle the rest. Zoe can stay here as long as necessary. She and Sophie are having a great time together anyway." Over the next week, Nathan proved himself in ways Amara had never expected. He kept Zoe Monday through Friday, getting her to school, picking her up, including her in Sophie's routine seamlessly. Mrs. Chin delivered fresh meals daily, soups and comfort food that Isaiah could manage and that Amara didn't have to think about preparing. Nathan called every morning and evening, checking on Isaiah's progress, asking what Amara needed. He never made her feel burdensome or like an obligation. He just consistently showed up, exactly when needed. Rachel gave Amara the week off work, paid, insisting that sick children took priority. Another kindness from Pierce Industries that Amara had never experienced in her previous jobs. By Thursday, Isaiah was improving. The fever had broken, the vomiting had stopped, and he could keep down solid food. He was weak and tired but clearly on the mend. Friday evening, Nathan brought Zoe home. Both girls burst into the apartment, Zoe rushing to hug Isaiah carefully. "I missed you," Zoe said. "Sophie and I had fun, but it's not the same without you." Nathan carried bags of groceries, setting them on Amara's small kitchen counter. "Mrs. Chin thought you might need supplies. She tends to over-prepare, so there's probably enough food here for a month." "Nathan, this is too much," Amara started, but he held up a hand. "It's groceries, Amara. Basic necessities. Please just accept them." "But the meals all week, keeping Zoe calling every day." Amara's voice broke slightly. "I don't know how to thank you for all of this." "You don't have to thank me," Nathan said firmly. "This is what people do when they care about each other. When Caroline was alive and I traveled for business, her sister would help with Sophie. When Caroline died, my neighbors brought meals for weeks. Community and support, that's how we survive the hard times." Sophie and Zoe had taken Isaiah to his bedroom to show him drawings they'd made during the week. With the children occupied, Nathan pulled Amara into a gentle hug. "You scared me," he admitted quietly. "When you texted about the emergency room, I wanted to rush over immediately. But I knew you needed to focus on Isaiah, so I stayed back. It killed me not being there with you." "You were there in every way that mattered," Amara said, her face pressed against his chest. "You kept Zoe safe and happy. You made sure I didn't have to worry about anything except Isaiah. That's being there, Nathan." "I hate that you have to go through these things," Nathan said. "I hate that you've been doing everything alone for so long. I want to be your partner in this, Amara. I want to share the load, the worry, the responsibility. Will you let me?" Amara pulled back to look at him. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying this is real for me. What we have, what we're building. It's not casual and it's not temporary. I'm in this for the long term if you are." "The long term," Amara repeated, her heart racing. Like I love you," Nathan said simply. "Like I want you and the twins in my life permanently. Like I want to wake up every morning knowing we're building something together. A family, a future, all of it." "Nathan, we've only been officially dating for a few weeks," Amara said, though her heart soared at his words. "I know. And I'm not asking you to say it back or make any decisions right now. I just needed you to know where I stand. This week proved something to me. When Isaiah was sick, my first instinct wasn't obligation or duty. It was genuine concern and love. I love that kid, Amara. I love Zoe. And I love you." Amara felt tears streaming down her face, but they were good tears. Happy tears. "I love you too," she whispered. "I've been afraid to admit it, afraid it was too soon or too impossible. But I do. I love you." Nathan cupped her face, kissing her deeply, with all the emotion they'd both been holding back. When they separated, both were smiling through tears. From the bedroom came Isaiah's voice. "Are Nathan and Mommy kissing?" Then Sophie's giggle, "I think so." Then Zoe, "Does this mean Nathan's going to be our dad?" Both adults laughed. Nathan called toward the bedroom, "How about we all talk about this together?" The children emerged, Isaiah supported by his sister, all three looking curious and hopeful. Nathan and Amara sat on the couch, the children gathering around. "Here's the truth," Nathan said seriously. "Your mom and I care about each other a lot. We're building a relationship, seeing where it goes. That means we'll spend more time together, do more things as a group. But we're going to take it slow and make sure everyone's comfortable every step of the way." "So you're boyfriend and girlfriend?" Sophie asked. "Yes," Amara confirmed. "And one day you might get married?" Zoe pressed. "Maybe," Nathan said carefully. "If everyone's happy and it feels right. But there's no rush. We want to make sure this works for all of us, especially you kids." "I think it's great," Isaiah declared. "Nathan's the best. And Sophie's my friend. We'd be like a real family." "We already are a family," Sophie said. "Just not official yet." The children returned to the bedroom, already making plans for weekend activities now that Isaiah was better. Nathan and Amara stayed on the couch, processing the conversation. "That went well," Nathan observed. "Too well maybe," Amara said nervously. "What if we're moving too fast?" "We're moving at exactly the right pace," Nathan said. "We're not rushing into anything legal or permanent. We're just acknowledging what already exists. We're already acting like a family, Amara. We're just calling it what it is now." "You're right," Amara admitted. "This does feel right. All of it." They spent the evening together, all five of them, watching a movie and eating popcorn. Isaiah fell asleep on the couch, and Nathan carried him to bed without being asked. Sophie and Zoe eventually passed out too, exhausted from their busy week. At the door, Nathan kissed Amara goodnight. I meant what I said earlier. I love you and I'm in this for real. I love you too, Amara said, feeling more certain than she'd felt about anything in years. And I'm in this too. Whatever comes next, we'll face it together. Together? Nathan agreed. That's exactly how it should be. After he left, Amara checked on all 3 sleeping children, her heart full. Life had thrown challenges at her constantly, but she'd survived them all. And now she had someone by her side helping carry the weight, someone who showed up consistently, someone who loved not just her but her children too. She'd spent so long believing she had to do everything alone, that accepting help meant weakness. Nathan had taught her differently. He'd shown her that strength came from connection, that love meant sharing burdens, that family was something you built together. Standing in her small apartment, looking at her sleeping children and thinking about the man who'd just left, Amara felt grateful. Grateful for the Christmas dinner that had started everything, grateful for Nathan's persistence in helping, grateful for choosing to accept kindness instead of clinging to pride. Hope had led her here. Kindness had opened the door. And love was showing her the way forward. Whatever challenges came next, she knew they'd handle them together. And that made all the difference. Spring arrived slowly, melting the snow and coaxing flowers from the thawed ground. The twins turned 6 in March, and Nathan threw them a party at his house with a bounce house in the backyard and more cake than any group of children could reasonably eat. Sophie helped plan every detail, treating Isaiah and Zoe like her own siblings. By April, Nathan and Amara had been dating for 3 months. They'd fallen into a comfortable rhythm. Family dinners 3 times a week, weekend outings with all the kids, and occasional date nights when Mrs. Chen watched the children. Their relationship had deepened naturally, each day revealing new ways they complemented each other. One Saturday afternoon, after an exhausting morning at the zoo where Sophie had insisted on seeing every single animal twice, the children were napping in Nathan's den. Nathan and Amara sat on his back patio, drinking iced tea and enjoying the spring sunshine. Can I ask you something personal? Amara said, breaking a comfortable silence. Always, Nathan replied. Tell me about Caroline. Really tell me, not just the facts. What was she like? Nathan was quiet for a moment, and Amara worried she'd overstepped. But then he began speaking, his voice soft with memory. She was light, Nathan said. That's the best way to describe her. She had this energy that made everything brighter. When she walked into a room, people gravitated toward her. Not because she was loud or demanding attention, but because she genuinely cared about everyone she met. She sounds wonderful. She was, Nathan agreed. She balanced me perfectly. I tend to be serious and focused, always thinking about work and responsibility. Caroline reminded me to laugh, to be spontaneous, to enjoy life instead of just managing it. How did you meet? College, actually. She was an art student, I was in business school. We met at a party I didn't want to attend. She saw me standing awkwardly in a corner and came over, handed me a beer and said, "You look like you need rescuing." We talked for 6 hours straight that night. Amara smiled, imagining a younger Nathan being charmed by a confident woman. When did you know you loved her? About 3 weeks later. We were studying together in the library, and she started drawing pictures in my economics textbook. Terrible drawings, deliberately silly, making me laugh when I should have been focused on supply and demand curves. And I just knew. This was the person I wanted to spend my life with. That's beautiful. It was, Nathan said. We got married right after graduation, had Sophie 5 years later. Everything was perfect until it wasn't. Do you want to talk about when she died? Amara asked gently. You don't have to, but I'm here if you do. Nathan took a deep breath. It was a Tuesday. Completely normal day. She'd taken Sophie to school, gone to the grocery store, come home to make lunch. I was at work. She called me around noon, said she had a terrible headache, asked if I could come home early. I said I had meetings, that I'd be home by 6. Told her to take some medicine and rest. His voice broke slightly. She never called back. When I got home, I found her unconscious on the living room floor. The doctors said it was a ruptured brain aneurysm. She'd probably been dead for hours by the time I found her. If I'd gone home when she called, maybe? Nathan, no, Amara said firmly, taking his hand. You can't think like that. You had no way of knowing. Logically, I know that, Nathan admitted. But emotionally, I'll always wonder. What if I'd taken her headache more seriously? What if I'd insisted she see a doctor? What if I'd just come home? You'd have watched her die instead of finding her already gone, Amara said bluntly. That's the only difference. Brain aneurysms are unpredictable and usually fatal. You didn't fail her, Nathan. Life is just cruel sometimes. Therapist told me the same thing, Nathan said with a weak smile. Took me a year to even partially believe it. Sophie's therapist helped her understand that mommy got sick really fast and that it wasn't anyone's fault. But kids internalize things differently. For a long time, Sophie thought if she'd been a better daughter, maybe Caroline wouldn't have died. That's heartbreaking. Is Nathan corrected. I spent the first year after Caroline died just trying to function. Getting Sophie to school, showing up at work, keeping the house running. I threw money at every problem, hired people to handle anything I couldn't. But I was hollow inside, just going through motions. What changed? Time partly. Therapy definitely. And eventually accepting that moving forward wasn't betraying Caroline's memory. She wouldn't have wanted me to stop living. She'd have wanted Sophie to have a happy father, to see love and joy still existed in the world. She'd be proud of how you've raised Sophie, Amara said. That little girl is kind and confident and happy. You did that, Nathan. We did that, Nathan said. Caroline built the foundation and I've tried my best to honor what she started. But you're right, I think Caroline would approve of how Sophie's turned out. They sat quietly, hands clasped, comfortable with the silence. Can I ask you something now? Nathan said eventually. Of course. Tell me about your ex-husband. What happened there? Amara sighed, knowing this conversation was overdue. His name is Marcus. We met when I was 23, right after my mother died. I was vulnerable and lonely and he was charming and attentive. We got married quickly, too quickly. I got pregnant a few months later. Were you happy? At first, yes. Or I thought I was. Looking back, I realized I was in love with the idea of having someone, of not being alone. The pregnancy was rough, carrying twins. Marcus seemed supportive, but there were signs I ignored. He worked odd hours, always had excuses for where he'd been. Was he faithful? Probably not, Amara admitted. I suspected but never confirmed it. When the twins were born, everything fell apart fast. Marcus couldn't handle the crying, the diapers, the constant needs of newborns. He started staying out all night, coming home drunk, yelling about how his life was ruined. That must have been terrifying. It was. One night, when the twins were 6 months old, he came home in a rage. Screamed at me that he never wanted kids, that I'd trapped him, that he was done. He packed a bag and left. I haven't heard from him since. He never filed for divorce, never asked about the kids, just disappeared. I'm so sorry. I'm not, Amara said firmly. He would have been a terrible father. The twins are better off without him. I'm better off without him. Yes, it's been hard doing everything alone, but it's better than dealing with someone who resents their own children. You're incredibly strong. I'm incredibly stubborn, Amara corrected with a smile. There's a difference. I refuse to give up, refuse to let his abandonment destroy us. But strong? I don't know. I think I just did what anyone would do. Most people wouldn't have managed half as well, Nathan said. You worked 2 jobs, raised 2 kids alone, maintained your dignity and hope through all of it. That's strength, Amara. I didn't have a choice. You did, Nathan insisted. You could have given up. Gone on welfare and done the minimum. Instead you fought for better. You sacrificed everything to give your kids opportunities. That's not just survival. That's courage. Amara felt tears threatening. Thank you for seeing me that way. I see you exactly as you are, Nathan said, pulling her closer. An amazing mother, a dedicated worker, a beautiful person inside and out. And I love you for all of it. I love you too, Amara said. More than I thought I could love anyone after Marcus. You've shown me what real partnership looks like, what genuine care feels like. We've both learned that love gets second chances, Nathan observed. Caroline and Marcus, those were our first chapters. But they don't have to define our whole story. No, Amara agreed. They don't. They talked for hours more, sharing deeper stories about their pasts, their fears, their dreams. Nathan told her about the pressure of running his father's company, about struggling to prove himself worthy of the legacy. Amara shared her nursing school dreams in more detail, about wanting to specialize in pediatrics, about hoping to work in underserved communities someday. I actually looked into the education assistance program, Amara admitted. I'd qualify for full tuition coverage. But the nursing program is intense. Classes 4 nights a week for 2 years, plus clinical hours on weekends. I don't know how I'd manage it with the twins. What if you had help? Nathan asked carefully. What if Mrs. Chun could watch the twins on class nights? What if I adjusted my schedule to be more available on weekends? What if we made it possible? Nathan, that's asking too much. It's not asking anything, Nathan corrected. It's me wanting to support your dreams the way you support mine. You've already made me a better father just by being in our lives. Let me help make your dreams possible. I'd have to start in the fall semester, Amara said slowly. That's only a few months away. Then we have time to plan, Nathan said. Apply to the program. Get accepted. Then we'll figure out the logistics together. You really think I can do this? I know you can, Nathan said firmly. You're one of the most capable people I've ever met, Amara. You just need people believing in you and supporting you. I'm volunteering for that position. That evening when Nathan drove them home, the children asleep in the back seat, Amara felt something shift inside her. For years she'd put her dreams on hold, convinced they were luxuries she couldn't afford. Nathan had shown her that dreams were necessities, that fulfilling your potential made you better for everyone around you. At her apartment, helping carry sleeping children inside, Nathan paused at the door. Thank you for today, he said quietly. For asking about Caroline, for letting me share that with you. I've never talked that much about her with anyone except Sophie's therapist. Thank you for trusting me with it, Amara replied. And thank you for listening to my story too. It helps talking about the hard parts. We should probably do more of it, Nathan suggested. Real conversations about our pasts, our fears, what we need from each other. Communication is how relationships survive. Agreed, Amara said. No secrets, no pretending things are fine when they're not. Deal. Nathan kissed her goodnight, soft and sweet. I'll call you tomorrow. Think about the nursing program, okay? Really think about it. I will, Amara promised. After he left, Amara checked on her sleeping children, then pulled out her laptop. She navigated to the nursing school website, reading through program requirements and application deadlines. It seemed impossible but also tangible. She started filling out the application, her heart racing with possibility. Maybe she could do this. Maybe with Nathan's support and her own determination, she could build the career she'd always wanted. Maybe she didn't have to choose between being a mother and pursuing her dreams. By midnight, she'd submitted her application. The essay question had asked why she wanted to become a nurse, and Amara had written from her heart about wanting to provide compassionate care to families facing medical crises, about understanding what it felt like to be scared and overwhelmed, about wanting to be the person who made those moments more bearable. Hitting submit felt significant, like stepping through a door into a new future. Whatever happened next, she tried. She'd reached for more instead of settling for less. And that alone felt like victory. Lying on her couch that night, Amara thought about Nathan's words about second chances. He was right. Their first loves hadn't worked out, but that didn't mean love itself had failed. It just meant they'd needed to grow, to learn, to become people capable of building something healthier. With Nathan, everything felt different. He respected her independence while offering support. He loved her children genuinely, not as obligations but as individuals he cared about. He encouraged her dreams while sharing his own vulnerabilities. This was what partnership should look like, what love should feel like. Amara smiled into the darkness, feeling hopeful and grateful and excited about what the future might hold. Whatever came next, they'd face it together, with honesty and communication and genuine love leading the way. And that was enough. That was everything. May brought warm weather and blooming flowers to the city. Amara's days settled into a pleasant rhythm. Mornings at work where she'd been promoted to senior operations coordinator with a raise, afternoons picking up kids from school, evenings spent either at her apartment or Nathan's house, weekends filled with family activities. The nursing school acceptance letter arrived on a Tuesday. Amara stared at it for 10 full minutes, reading and rereading the congratulations, the enrollment instructions, the fall semester start date. She'd done it. She'd actually gotten accepted into one of the best nursing programs in the state. She called Nathan immediately, unable to contain her excitement. I got in, she said when he answered. Nathan, I got into the nursing program. His whoop of joy was so loud she had to hold the phone away from her ear. That's incredible. I knew you would. When do you start? September 1st. Classes are Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Clinical rotations start second semester on Sundays. We'll make it work, Nathan said immediately. Whatever schedule adjustments we need, we'll figure it out. This is amazing, Amara. I'm so proud of you. That evening, Nathan took everyone out for a celebratory dinner. The children were thrilled, even though they didn't fully understand what it meant. Sophie insisted they get dessert, and Isaiah and Zoe agreed enthusiastically. Mommy's going to be a nurse, Zoe announced to the waiter. She's going to help people feel better. That's wonderful, the waiter said warmly. Congratulations. After dinner, back at Nathan's house, the children played in the den while Nathan and Amara sat in his home office. He pulled out a calendar and a notebook. Okay, let's plan this properly. Your classes are Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. That means you'll need childcare those evenings and weekend mornings, right? Yes, but Nathan, I can't ask you to. You're not asking. I'm offering, Nathan interrupted gently. Mrs. Chin already works for me. She can handle weekday dinners and bedtime for the twins. On Saturdays I'm free anyway. Sophie and the twins can spend the day together while you're in class. What about when clinical rotations start? Sunday mornings? Same thing. We'll treat it as family time. The 3 kids will do activities together and you'll be building your career. Everyone wins. Amara felt overwhelmed by his support. I don't understand why you're doing all of this. Because I love you, Nathan said simply. Because supporting your dreams matters to me. Because when you succeed, our whole family benefits. You'll be happier, more fulfilled, and the twins will see their mother achieving her goals. That's worth any amount of schedule juggling. Our whole family, Amara repeated softly. You keep saying that. Nathan took her hands, looking serious. Because that's what we are. Maybe not legally yet, but emotionally, practically we're already a family. Sophie, you, me, Isaiah, and Zoe. We're building something together and I want to make it official. Amara's heart raced. Nathan, what are you saying? I'm saying that I want to marry you, Nathan said clearly. Not today, not even necessarily soon, but eventually. I want you to know my intentions are serious. I'm not just dating you casually. I'm planning a future with you. Marriage, Amara whispered. You want to marry me? When you're ready, Nathan emphasized. I'm not pressuring you or setting timelines. But yes, I want to marry you, Amara. I want to adopt the twins officially if that's something they'd want. I want Sophie to legally be their sister. I want us to be a real family in every sense. Amara felt tears streaming down her face. I want that too. I've been afraid to even think about it because it seemed impossible. But I want it, Nathan. All of it. Then we're on the same page, Nathan said, smiling through his own tears. We'll take our time, do this right. Let the kids adjust fully, let you get settled in school, let everything stabilize. But we're heading toward forever, and I need you to know that. They kissed, both crying happy tears, both feeling the weight and joy of commitment. From the den came Sophie's voice calling them for a game night, and they laughed, wiping their faces and heading to join the children. That night, playing charades with all 3 kids, Amara felt complete. This was her family. These were her people. The children who'd come from her body and the child Nathan had made with Caroline, all of them together creating something beautiful and blended and perfect. Later, after tucking everyone into bed, the twins had started keeping pajamas and toothbrushes at Nathan's house. Nathan and Amara sat on his back patio under the stars. I have a proposition, Nathan said. And before you refuse, just hear me out. I'm listening. Your apartment is small. You sleep on the couch because the twins need the bedroom. Your building has problems with heating and plumbing. And frankly, you deserve better. So here's what I propose. Move into my guest house. Nathan. It's separate from the main house, he continued quickly. 2 bedrooms, a full kitchen, living room, bathroom. The twins would have their own rooms. You'd have privacy and independence. But you'd be close enough that childcare would be easier, the kids could play together more, and we could see each other more often. That's too much, Amara protested. Living on your property, you providing housing. It's housing that's sitting empty anyway, Nathan countered. I've been trying to figure out what to do with the guest house for years. Having you there would actually give it purpose. And think about the twins. They'd have their own space, a yard to play in, better schools in this neighborhood. I can't afford rent in this area. I'm not charging rent, Nathan said. Consider it free employee housing. Lots of companies provide that. Pierce Industries doesn't provide housing to employees. Then consider it as a favor to a friend, Nathan said. Or payment for all the help you give with Sophie. Or just accept it because I want you closer and I have the means to make it happen. Pick whatever reasoning makes you comfortable, but please just say yes. Amara wanted to refuse on principle. But she thought about the twins having their own rooms, about living in a safe neighborhood with good schools, about not sleeping on a lumpy couch anymore. Okay, she said finally. Yes. Thank you. Nathan's face lit up. Really? Really? But Nathan, I need to contribute somehow. Let me pay utilities or groceries or something. Deal? Nathan agreed quickly. You can handle your own utilities and food. That's fair. When do you want to move? Is next month too soon? Next month is perfect. The guest house needs minimal updating. I'll have it cleaned and painted, maybe new furniture if you want. The furniture I have is fine, Amara said. I just need it transported. I'll arrange everything, Nathan promised. You just pack. We'll make this easy. The next few weeks passed in a flurry of packing and planning. Amara gave notice at her apartment, feeling only relief at leaving. The twins were ecstatic about moving, especially when they learned they'd each have their own bedroom. Nathan hired movers, and on a Saturday in early June, Amara's meager possessions were transported to the guest house. The structure was beautiful, a small cottage-style building behind Nathan's main house, painted white with blue shutters. Inside it was cozy and charming with hardwood floors and large windows letting in natural light. The twins ran through the space, choosing their rooms, marveling at having their own closets and beds. Amara stood in the kitchen, looking out at the yard where Nathan's main house was visible through the trees, and felt her eyes well with tears. Hey, what's wrong? Nathan appeared at her side, concerned. Nothing's wrong, Amara said, smiling through tears. Everything's right. This is real, Nathan. We're really building a life together. We really are, Nathan confirmed, wrapping his arms around her. And it's going to be beautiful. That evening they had a celebration dinner at the main house, christening Amara's move with homemade pizza and far too much ice cream. The children made speeches about how happy they were, and Sophie gave a formal toast with her juice box. To our family, Sophie declared. To Amara and Isaiah and Zoe being close by forever. To family, everyone echoed, clinking glasses and boxes together. Later, tucking Isaiah and Zoe into their new beds in their own rooms, Amara felt overwhelming gratitude. Her children had stability now, security, a future filled with possibility. They had a father figure in Nathan, even if not legally yet. They had a sister in Sophie. They had everything she'd ever dreamed of giving them. Mommy? Zoe whispered sleepily. Is this our forever home? I think it might be, baby, Amara whispered back. I think it just might be. Walking back to the guest house alone, Amara paused on the path between the two buildings. She looked up at the stars, thinking about how far she'd come from that cold Christmas Eve when she'd stood outside a restaurant watching her dreams disappear. Now she had a career she loved and was pursuing another. She had children who were thriving. She had a man who loved her genuinely and showed it through consistent actions. She had a home that was beautiful and safe. She had a future that looked bright. None of it had been expected. All of it had started with simple kindness, with saying yes to help instead of clinging to pride, with allowing hope to lead the way forward. Amara smiled at the night sky, whispering to whatever forces had brought her here, "Thank you. For all of it. Thank you." Inside the guest house, she unpacked a few more boxes before collapsing into her own bed, in her own room, in a home that felt like the beginning of forever. Tomorrow would bring new challenges and opportunities. But tonight, she simply existed in gratitude, feeling blessed beyond measure. Before sleep claimed her, her phone buzzed with a text from Nathan. Good night from the main house. Having you this close feels right. Sleep well, beautiful. Amara replied, good night from the guest house. This feels like home. Thank you for making it possible. Nathan's final text of the night made her smile. Thank you for trusting me enough to say yes. This is just the beginning of our forever. And Amara believed him. This was just the beginning. The best was yet to come. Summer passed in a blur of happiness. Amara settled into the guest house, making it her own while maintaining her independence. The twins thrived in their new space, decorating their rooms with posters and trinkets, reveling in having privacy and personal space for the first time. Nathan and Amara's relationship deepened naturally. They shared meals most evenings, alternating between the guest house and main house. The children moved fluidly between both spaces, creating one cohesive family unit. Sophie started calling Amara Mom occasionally, testing the word. Isaiah and Zoe called Nathan by his first name still, but the affection in their voices was clear. By August, with school starting soon and Amara's nursing program weeks away, they'd established solid routines. Morning breakfasts at the main house with Mrs. Chen, work days for the adults, after-school programs for all three kids, family dinners, homework time, then bedtime routines. One evening in late August, after the children were asleep, Nathan invited Amara to the main house for wine on the back patio. The summer air was warm, cicadas singing in the trees, stars bright overhead. I want to talk about something important, Nathan said, his voice serious but not worried. Okay, Amara said, settling into the patio chair across from him. I've been thinking about our future. About making things official. And I know we said we'd wait, that we'd take our time. But Amara, I don't want to wait anymore. Amara's heart raced. What are you saying? Nathan knelt beside her chair, pulling a small box from his pocket. I'm saying that I want to marry you. Not someday but soon. I want to make you my wife, make the twins legally mine, create the family we've already built in our hearts. Will you marry me, Amara? He opened the box, revealing a beautiful ring, simple but elegant. Amara stared at it, her mind racing. Nathan, Before you answer, let me say something, Nathan interrupted gently. I know this seems fast by conventional standards. We've only been dating 6 months. But we've lived together essentially, we've blended our families, we've faced challenges and celebrated successes. I know you, Amara. I know your heart, your strength, your dreams. And I love all of it. I don't need more time to be sure. The kids, Amara started. What about? The kids are thrilled, Nathan said. I asked them. All 3 of them. Sophie's been asking when I'm going to propose for months. Isaiah and Zoe both said they'd love to have me as their dad officially. Everyone's on board except you, and that's the only opinion that truly matters. Amara felt tears streaming down her face. You asked my children's permission? Of course I did. They're part of this decision too. And they said yes? Enthusiastically yes. Isaiah asked if he could call me dad after the wedding. Zoe asked if she could be a flower girl. Sophie asked if she could help plan everything. Amara laughed through her tears. You've thought of everything. I've tried. So, Amara Washington, will you marry me? Amara looked at the ring, then at Nathan's hopeful face, then thought about her children sleeping peacefully in the guest house, about the life they'd built together, about how far they'd all come. Yes, she said firmly. Yes, I'll marry you. Nathan slipped the ring on her finger, then pulled her into a kiss that felt like a promise, a commitment, a beginning. When they separated, both were crying happy tears. I love you, Nathan said. So much. You've changed my life, Amara. You've changed mine, Amara replied. You've given us everything. Security, stability, love, hope. You've shown my children what a good man looks like. You've shown me what real partnership feels like. We've given each other everything, Nathan corrected. You've brought joy back into my life. You've given Sophie a mother figure and siblings. You've made this house feel like a home instead of just a place I exist. We're better together. They sat under the stars planning. Nathan wanted a small wedding, intimate and meaningful. Amara agreed wholeheartedly. Just close friends and family, nothing ostentatious. What about timing? Amara asked. I start nursing school in 2 weeks. I was thinking December, Nathan said. After your first semester. That gives us 4 months to plan, lets you focus on school and puts it right before Christmas. We could get married on Christmas Eve actually. 1 year after we met. Christmas Eve, Amara repeated, smiling. That's perfect. Full circle. Exactly, Nathan said. And we could honeymoon during your winter break. Just the 2 of us for a week, then come back to be parents again. I love that plan. They talked for hours, imagining their wedding, their honeymoon, their future. Nathan wanted to formally adopt Isaiah and Zoe after the wedding, making them legally his children. Amara wanted Sophie to legally be hers too, creating a blended family in every sense. I want to talk to you about one more thing, Nathan said eventually. Something financial. Okay, Amara said cautiously. After we're married, I want to set up trust funds for all 3 kids. College funds, first home funds, emergency funds. I want to make sure they're secure no matter what happens. Nathan, that's incredibly generous, but... It's not generosity, Nathan interrupted. They'll be my children, legally and emotionally. I want to provide for them the same way I provide for Sophie. Equal treatment, equal opportunities. Equal, Amara repeated, feeling emotion swell in her chest. You really mean that? Absolutely. Isaiah and Zoe will be my kids just as much as Sophie is. No difference, no distinction. One family, equally loved and equally supported. Amara hugged him tightly. You're amazing. You know that. I'm just doing what's right, Nathan said. Taking care of my family. They decided to tell the children in the morning, wanting to share the news together. That night, Amara slept with her left hand on her pillow, watching the ring catch moonlight through her bedroom window. She was engaged. She was going to marry Nathan Pierce. She was going to be a wife again, but this time to a man who truly loved her and her children. The next morning they gathered all 3 kids at the main house for pancakes. Mrs. Chin had made a huge breakfast, somehow knowing something special was happening. Kids, Amara and I have news, Nathan announced when everyone was seated. 3 young faces looked up expectantly. "I asked Amara to marry me last night," Nathan continued. "And she said yes." Sophie screamed and jumped up, running to hug both adults. Isaiah and Zoe followed, everyone talking at once in excitement. "Does this mean you're our dad now?" Isaiah asked Nathan hopefully. After the wedding officially, Nathan confirmed. "If that's what you want." "We want it," Zoe said firmly. "Can I be a flower girl?" Zoe asked, echoing what Nathan had told Amara the night before. "Absolutely," Amara said. "Can I be a ring bearer?" Isaiah asked. "Of course." "What about me?" Sophie said. "What do I get to be?" "You get to be maid of honor if you want," Amara said. "My special helper for everything." Sophie's eyes went wide. "Really? I get to be that important?" "You're that important to me," Amara said seriously. "You're going to be my daughter soon. That makes you incredibly important." The rest of breakfast was chaotic and joyful, everyone talking over each other about wedding plans and ideas. By the time the meal ended, they decided on colors, purple and yellow, Sophie's favorites, agreed on a December wedding date and started listing potential guests. That week, Amara started her nursing program. The coursework was intense, more challenging than anything she'd attempted before. Anatomy, physiology, medical terminology, patient care basics. She studied late into the night, making flashcards and reviewing notes while the twins slept. Nathan was her constant support. He quizzed her on medical terms, helped her organize study materials, took over more childcare duties on class nights. Mrs. Chin kept the twins fed and entertained. Sophie helped by keeping Isaiah and Zoe occupied with games and activities. By October, Amara had found her rhythm. Classes were demanding but manageable. She was excelling, earning top grades and praise from her instructors. Her professors commented on her natural compassion and her ability to connect with patients during clinical observations. Wedding planning happened in stolen moments between study sessions and work. Amara kept it simple, refusing Nathan's offers to hire a wedding planner. She wanted to do it herself, making every decision meaningful and personal. They'd send invitations to about 50 people. Rachel from work and her husband. Mrs. Chin and her family. A few of Nathan's business associates who'd become genuine friends. Some teachers from the kids' schools. Amara's former co-workers from the call center who'd been kind to her. Nathan's sister and her family flying in from California. The ceremony would be at Nathan's house, in the backyard under a decorated arbor. The reception would be inside, with catering from a local restaurant and a small band for music. Nothing extravagant, just meaningful. One November evening, while addressing invitations at the kitchen table, Amara paused and looked at Nathan helping Isaiah with math homework nearby. "Hey," she called softly. Nathan looked up. "Yeah. I love you," she said simply. "I don't say it enough. But I love you so much. Thank you for all of this. For supporting my dreams, for loving my children, for making this family possible." "I love you too," Nathan said, smiling. "And thank you for saying yes. For taking a chance on us. For believing this could work." "It is working," Amara observed. "Better than I ever imagined." "It really is," Nathan agreed. By early December, everything was falling into place. Amara had finished her first semester with straight A's, proving she could handle nursing school while managing everything else. The wedding was 2 weeks away, all the details confirmed and arranged. The children were excited, practicing their roles and helping with last-minute preparations. Sophie had chosen her maid of honor dress, a beautiful purple that matched the wedding colors. Isaiah and Zoe had their outfits picked out, both wearing maroon to coordinate. 1 week before the wedding, Nathan and Amara met with a lawyer to discuss the adoption proceedings. They'd file paperwork immediately after the wedding, starting the process to make Isaiah and Zoe legally Nathan's children and Sophie legally Amara's. "This is really happening," Amara said as they left the lawyer's office. "We're really becoming an official family." "We've been an official family for months," Nathan reminded her. "This just makes the paperwork match reality." "I know, but still. It feels big." "It is big," Nathan agreed. "It's everything we've built, recognized legally. Our family, official and permanent." That evening, lying in bed in her guest house, Amara reflected on the journey that had brought her here. From standing outside a restaurant in the cold to living in a beautiful home, engaged to an amazing man, pursuing her nursing degree, with children who were happy and secure. It had started with a simple act of kindness. Nathan inviting her to share a Christmas dinner. Her accepting despite her pride. And from that one moment, everything had changed. She'd learned that accepting help wasn't weakness. That asking for support was actually strength. That building community and connection mattered more than fierce independence. That love could heal old wounds and create new possibilities. Hope had led her here. Kindness had opened doors. Love had made it all permanent and beautiful. The wedding was in 1 week. A new chapter was beginning. And Amara had never felt more ready for what came next. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they'd face them together. As a family. As partners. As people committed to making life beautiful through love and kindness and unwavering support. She fell asleep smiling, her engagement ring catching moonlight, her heart full of gratitude and anticipation for the life she was building. The best was truly yet to come. Christmas Eve morning arrived clear and cold, the kind of perfect winter day that felt designed for celebrations. Amara woke early in the guest house, butterflies dancing in her stomach. Today she would marry Nathan Pierce. Today her family would become official in every way. Mrs. Chin arrived at 8 with breakfast and an army of helpers to begin transforming the backyard. Amara watched from her window as white chairs were arranged in neat rows, as an arbor was decorated with purple and yellow flowers, as lights were strung through the trees despite the daylight ceremony. Her phone buzzed with a text from Nathan. "Good morning, future wife. Ready for today?" Amara replied, "More ready than I've ever been for anything. I love you." His response made her smile. "I love you too. See you at the altar." Rachel arrived at 10 to help Amara get ready, bringing her own teenage daughter to watch the twins. The children were already at the main house with Nathan, getting dressed and controlled by his sister Margaret who'd flown in 2 days before. "Let me see the dress," Rachel demanded the moment she entered the guest house. Amara pulled out the gown she'd found at a local boutique. Simple and elegant, a cream-colored dress with lace sleeves and a flowing skirt. Nothing extravagant, but beautiful and perfect for her. "It's gorgeous," Rachel breathed. "You're going to look stunning." They spent the next 2 hours getting ready. Rachel did Amara's hair in soft curls, pinning them up with small purple flowers. The makeup was natural but polished, emphasizing Amara's features without overwhelming them. When she finally put on the dress, Rachel's eyes filled with tears. "You're beautiful," Rachel said. "Nathan's going to lose his mind when he sees you." "You think so?" Amara asked nervously. "I know so. Now let's get you married." At 1:30, guests began arriving. Amara watched from the guesthouse window as people filed into the backyard, taking seats, chatting excitedly. She recognized faces from work, from the children's schools, from their community. Everyone looked happy, gathered to celebrate their union. At 2 o'clock exactly, music started playing. Rachel gave Amara a final hug. "Time to go get your forever, honey." The ceremony was simple and perfect. Isaiah and Zoe walked down the aisle first, Isaiah carrying the rings on a small pillow, Zoe scattering purple and yellow flower petals. They looked adorable and took their roles seriously, walking slowly and carefully. Sophie came next as maid of honor, looking beautiful and mature in her purple dress. She carried a bouquet of white roses and smiled at everyone as she walked. Then Amara appeared at the edge of the aisle and every head turned. But she only had eyes for Nathan, standing at the altar in a dark suit with a yellow tie matching the wedding colors. His expression when he saw her was everything: love, awe, joy, promise. She walked down the aisle alone, having chosen to give herself away rather than having a father or father figure do it. It felt right, symbolic of her independence and strength, of choosing this new life actively rather than being passed from one situation to another. When she reached Nathan, he took her hands, tears visible in his eyes. "You're beautiful," he whispered. "You're not bad yourself," she whispered back, making him smile. The officiant, a friend of Nathan's who'd gotten ordained for the occasion, began the ceremony. He spoke about love and partnership, about the blending of families, about commitment and choice. "Marriage isn't about finding someone to complete you," the officiant said. "It's about finding someone who already sees you as whole and chooses to walk beside you anyway." Nathan and Amara have found that in each other. They've built a family based on kindness, respect, and unwavering support. Today they're making official what their hearts have known for months. The vows were personal and moving. Nathan went first, his voice steady but emotional. "Amara, I promise to love you always. To support your dreams as fiercely as my own. To be the father Isaiah and Zoe deserve. To never take for granted the gift of your presence in my life. You've taught me that love gets second chances, that kindness matters more than wealth, that family is what you build, not just what you're born into. I promise to spend every day proving I'm worthy of you." Amara's turn came, tears streaming down her face but her voice clear. "Nathan, I promise to love you with everything I have. To trust in us even when things get hard. To be the mother Sophie needs and deserves. To never forget that you saw value in me when I couldn't see it in myself. You've shown me what real partnership looks like, what genuine love feels like. I promise to spend every day making our family strong, happy, and full of the kindness that brought us together." They exchanged rings, simple gold bands that matched. Isaiah and Zoe beamed with pride at having carried them successfully down the aisle. "By the power vested in me," the officiant declared, "I now pronounce you husband and wife. Nathan, you may kiss your bride." Nathan pulled Amara close, kissing her deeply while everyone applauded. When they separated, both were crying happy tears. "I love you, Mrs. Pierce," Nathan whispered. "I love you too, Mr. Pierce," Amara replied. They turned to face their guests as the officiant announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. and Mrs. Nathan Pierce and their beautiful family." Sophie, Isaiah, and Zoe joined them at the altar, all five holding hands. The photographer captured the moment, this new family officially united, all wearing genuine smiles of joy and love. The reception was held inside the main house, transformed into a party space with tables, a dance floor, and a huge cake decorated with purple and yellow flowers. Dinner was served, toasts were made, and laughter filled the rooms. Rachel's toast was particularly moving. "I've known Amara for almost a year now, and I've watched her transform from a woman barely surviving to someone truly thriving. But Nathan, you didn't save her. She saved herself. You just had the wisdom to see her worth and the heart to support her journey. Together, you two prove that love isn't about rescue. It's about recognition and partnership. Congratulations to both of you." Margaret, Nathan's sister, spoke next. "When Caroline died, I worried Nathan would never find happiness again. I watched him shut down emotionally, focusing solely on Sophie and work. But then he met Amara and her wonderful children, and I watched my brother come back to life. You've given him his smile back, Amara. You've given Sophie a mother figure and siblings. You've created the family Nathan desperately needed. Thank you for loving him and for letting him love you back." The children gave speeches too, reading from cards they'd made. Sophie went first, standing bravely at the microphone. "Amara, you make my daddy happy. You make me happy too. You're the best almost mom ever, and I can't wait until the adoption papers make it official. I love you so much. Thank you for being part of our family." Isaiah went next, reading carefully from his card. "Nathan, you're the best dad I could imagine. You teach me stuff and play with me and never get mad when I ask too many questions. I'm so happy you married Mommy. I love you." Zoe finished, her voice small but clear. "I always wanted a big family. Now I have one. Nathan and Sophie and Mommy and Isaiah, we're all together forever. That makes me really happy. Thank you for marrying us." There wasn't a dry eye in the house. The first dance was At Last by Etta James, Nathan and Amara swaying together while everyone watched. Halfway through, Nathan pulled the children onto the dance floor, and soon all five were dancing together, a family celebrating their union. As the evening wound down and guests began leaving, Amara found a quiet moment on the back patio. She looked at the arbor where she'd said her vows, at the lights twinkling in the trees, at the house full of people she loved. Nathan found her there, wrapping his arms around her from behind. "Happy?" he asked. "Incredibly happy," Amara confirmed. "This has been perfect. Everything I never knew I wanted." "You deserve perfect," Nathan said. "You deserve everything good in this world." "We both do," Amara corrected. "We've both worked hard to get here." "True," Nathan agreed. "So, Mrs. Pierce, ready to start our honeymoon tomorrow?" "Actually," Amara said, turning to face him, "I was thinking maybe we should wait on the honeymoon. Do it next summer instead." Nathan looked surprised. "Why?" "Because I don't want to leave the kids right after the wedding. I want us to spend Christmas together as a family, all five of us. Our first Christmas as an official unit. The honeymoon can wait. Family time can't." Nathan's smile was brilliant. "You're amazing. That's perfect. We'll do Christmas here, all of us, and plan the honeymoon for next year when you have a longer break from school." "Deal?" Amara said, kissing him. Later that night, after all the guests had left and the children were asleep, Nathan and Amara walked through their home together. The main house where Nathan and Sophie lived, the guest house where Amara had been staying, the yard where they'd just gotten married. "I was thinking," Nathan said, "what if we renovated the main house? Created a real family space with bedrooms for all the kids, a proper master suite for us. Make it one unified home instead of two separate spaces." "You'd do that?" Amara asked. "Renovate your whole house?" It's our house now, Nathan corrected. And yes, I want the twins to have proper rooms here, not just sleep in the guest house. I want us all under one roof, actually living together as a family. We can keep the guest house as a guest suite or home office, but the main house should be for all of us. That sounds perfect, Amara agreed. When would we start? After the holidays. We'll plan it together, design spaces that work for everyone. It'll take a few months, but by spring we could have our dream family home. Christmas morning arrived 2 days later. All 5 family members gathered around the tree in the main house, exchanging presents and eating cinnamon rolls for breakfast. The gifts weren't extravagant despite Nathan's wealth. Thoughtful presents, meaningful items, things chosen with care and love. Amara gave Nathan a leather journal with his initials embossed on the cover. For your thoughts and dreams, she said. So I can always know what's going on in that brilliant mind of yours. Nathan gave Amara a locket with photos of all 3 children inside. So you can carry your whole family with you always, he explained. For the children, the gifts focused on experiences rather than things. Season passes to the zoo, memberships to the children's museum, tickets to events they could attend together. Building memories rather than accumulating stuff. After presents, they made lunch together, the whole family working in the kitchen. Nathan and Isaiah managed the turkey while Amara and Zoe prepared sides. Sophie set the table with her best artistic flair, making place cards for everyone decorated with drawings. Sitting around the table for Christmas dinner, Nathan raised his glass of sparkling cider in a toast. 1 year ago today, I met the most incredible woman and her amazing children at a restaurant. I had no idea that simple act of kindness would change my entire life. But here we are, a year later, officially a family. I'm so grateful for every moment that led us here. To family, Sophie added. To kindness, Amara said. To love, Zoe whispered. To new beginnings, Nathan concluded. They clinked glasses, all 5 of them, and dove into the feast they'd prepared together. After dinner, while the children played with their new toys in the den, Nathan and Amara stood at the kitchen window, looking out at the snowy backyard where they'd gotten married just 2 days before. This time last year, I was standing outside a restaurant watching my dreams disappear, Amara said quietly. I had $47, 2 cold children, and no idea how I'd give them the Christmas they deserved. And now? Nathan prompted. Now I have everything. A career I'm building, children who are happy and secure, a husband I love more than I knew was possible. A family that's real and permanent and beautiful. We have everything, Nathan corrected. Both of us. We built this together, Amara. Your strength and my resources, your dedication and my support, your love and mine. Together, we made something neither of us could have created alone. Together, Amara agreed, leaning into his embrace. From the den came the sound of children's laughter, Sophie reading a story to Isaiah and Zoe in dramatic voices, all of them giggling together. The sound of family, of love, of home. You know what the best part is? Nathan said. What? This is just the beginning. We have years ahead of us. Watching the kids grow up, graduating nursing school, building careers, celebrating birthdays and holidays, making memories. This is the start of our forever, not the end of our story. The best is yet to come, Amara said, smiling. Always, Nathan agreed. As snow fell softly outside and warmth filled the house inside, Amara reflected on the journey that had brought her to this moment. She'd learned that pride could be set aside for love, that accepting help was actually a form of strength, that kindness created ripples that changed lives. She'd learned that hope was a choice, that love could heal old wounds, that family was something you built through commitment and care rather than just biology. Most importantly, she'd learned that kindness should always lead the way forward. That approaching life with an open heart, even when afraid, created possibilities that closed hearts could never find. Standing in her beautiful home with her husband nearby and her children laughing in the next room, Amara felt complete. She'd found her forever. She'd built her dream life. And it had all started with one act of simple kindness on a cold Christmas Eve. The future stretched ahead, full of promise and potential. Whatever came next, they'd face it together. As partners, as parents, as a family united by love and strengthened by the kindness that had brought them together. It was, Amara thought with profound gratitude, the perfect beginning to forever.